M is for May and Mondays. It's also for Met Gala. That's right, the first Monday of May is for the Met, but not for everybody because some celebrities have leaked these secrets and lies and will not be attending. Kim Kardashian scolds her security guard for stepping on her Met Gala dress. The reality TV star was leaving the Mark Hotel in New York City alongside her daughter Northwest when a security guard accidentally trips on the train of her outfit. After stumbling forward, she angrily turns towards the man and said something to him before she held up her hand with a harsh look on her face. Kim was seen by fans angrily just looking back at the guard and mouthing a very nasty foul word before brushing off the very awkward moment. Kim appeared to have recovered from the near fall by the time she reached the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where she took time to pose for photographs on the blue carpet at the Tailored for You inspired bash. The awkward moment was caught on camera and of course shared to TikTok. Now tension seemingly did not end there as Kim glared back while hopping into a pickup vehicle before hitting the famous steps at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Now Kim decided to wear some leather in a long bodycon dress with matching large fedora by Chrome Hearts. Now the look was definitely representative of the tailoring black style theme as it took inspiration from the zoot suit outfits worn by black men in the 1930s and 1940s. Kim accessorized with several diamond necklaces which cascaded down her chest along with matching dangling earrings. Her raven-colored locks were worn down, and though most of her face was covered up by her fashionable headwear, it could be seen that she was wearing plenty of makeup. Meanwhile, Northwest teased her debut at the Met Gala 2025 alongside her mother amid a bitter custody drama with Kanye West, which ultimately, did not happen. Now, the Nepo baby showcased her wild style as the two posted for a few TikToks together, showing off their looks. North wore a matching cowhide jacket and shorts combination along with black Nike high crew socks and a pair of black leather Rick Owens sneakers, which retail for a whopping $1,200. She accessorized with several long silver necklaces as well, and some turquoise and silver earrings. Now, North also added a bit of color to her hair with varying shades of blue dye in her long locks, which were pulled into braids that kind of cascaded down to her hip as well. North also wore plenty of makeup, including some lipstick. Now, their appearance comes just days after Kim's ex, Kanye West, complained about actually not being able to see his kids in a live stream on Wednesday. The Chicago native who has publicly clashed ex-wife Kim about her parenting of their daughter. On Wednesday, West vented about not seeing North, as well as his three younger kids, daughter Chicago and sons Saint and Psalm. Now, Kardashian has faced a Met wardrobe blip before. In 2023, she wore a Shirapelli haute couture gown created with more than 50,000 freshwater pearls and 16,000 crystal pearls, and it was as risky as it sounds. Now, after attending the star-studded event, Kardashian made her way back to the hotel by car, but when she exited the vehicle, a few strings of pearls towards the bottom of the garment came undone. She also caused quite the stir in 2022 after she infamously slipped into one of Marilyn Monroe's dresses from 1962, which appeared to have some damage at the seams following Kardashian's wear. But it was later confirmed by Ripley's Believe It or Not, where she sourced the artifact, that she had nothing to do with the incident. Jack Schulzberg, now an ex-Vogue staffer, as well as the grandson of late President John F. Kennedy, spilled some tea about the Met Gala, and he got in some hot water for it. Jack Schulzberg started a feud with the Met Gala in April 2025 by calling for a boycott. He took to TikTok to say, "Hey, Anna Wintour, I'm boycotting the Met Gala this year. With so much happening at home and around the world, it's not the time for a party like that, at least for me. I will be boycotting the Met Gala, and I think others should as well. It is not the time for a party." In a follow-up video, Jack explained his reasoning for his decision to boycott. He said, while sitting in a kayak, "I've been to the Met Gala before. I had a great time, but this year with so much happening around the world and at home, I cannot in good conscience go to the Met Gala." Jack teased that instead he was going to be launching something brand new that would be very important and informative. Many people took to his comment section to say the real reason he's likely not going is because he's known to have spilled some dirty secrets about Anna Wintour herself in the past, and so she's actually cut him off. So while he's been invited in the past, it seems as though that invitation has not gone out to him this year. Josh Hartnett, 90s heartthrob Josh Hartnett, was deemed not relevant enough for the Met Gala back in 2016. The documentary, The First Monday in May, which actually took audiences behind the scenes of the invite-only event, showed a glimpse glimpse into the Met. Now, in the doc, a Vogue staffer was seen responding to Calvin Klein's request to actually dress the Pearl Harbor star and have him sit at his table, saying, "What has he done lately though? Nothing. You guys are all set." So banned is a little bit too strong of a word to use in this case, as I don't think he necessarily is banned, but he's had a great comeback in 2023 and 2024, and arguably is back on the path to being extremely relevant. But despite this, no talks of him attending this year has actually been whispered anywhere. It's rumored that he's made claims of not wanting to go anyway, so we may never see him on that famous carpet. Rachel Zoe. It's widely speculated that designer Rachel Zoe was indefinitely uninvited from the Met Gala after she made comments that probably didn't go over too well with Met Gala organizer and Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour. Now, Zoe told the New York Times in 2007, "Anna Wintour is one of my heroes, but they say that I'm more influential. Now, as great as it is, Vogue won't change a designer's business." However, Zoe did attend the event in 2010 and in 2012, so I'm not really sure if this alleged ban is real or not, or if she will attend in the future. Tim Gunn, celebrity fashion presenter and author Tim Gunn, confirmed that he is actually banned from the Met Gala during a 2016 appearance on E! Entertainment's Fashion Police. When host Joan Rivers asked if the rumors about his ban are true, he said, "It is very true. It is a crazy story, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a very matter-of-fact story. I was asked what is the most unforgettable thing I've ever seen in fashion, and I said it's easy. I was watching Anna Wintour being carried down 5 flights of stairs by 2 bodyguards, 2 big hulking men from a fashion show. All hell broke loose. It was insane. We've had an open war ever since." Now, the fashion guru then said he's basically blacklisted for making those kind of off-head comments, and he refused to actually retract his statement after Anna allegedly asked him to, which only made her more upset and angered. I mean, I actually love that he stood on business on that one. He basically said, "I don't need the Met needs me, and it's above me now." Lily Reinhart has nothing but hate for the Met Gala. Riverdale star Lily Reinhart attended the Met Gala in 2018, 2019, and 2021, but later speculated that she won't be invited back after criticizing Met Gala royalty Kim Kardashian over her comments about committing to an extreme diet to fit into that Marilyn Monroe gown she wore back in 2022. Reinhart told W Magazine in 2022, "I don't think I'll be invited back. I said a certain something about a certain person in a certain dress." Lily Reinhart has no shame calling out celebrities who have been promoting unhealthy habits, even if it lands her in really hot water. She also said in a statement, "When someone is talking about, disordered eating or promoting unhealthy habits, that's where I have to step in." Without naming her, Reinhart criticized Kim Kardashian's ignorance in promoting her very harmful Met Gala crash diet. Comments through an Instagram story she posted, she said, "To walk on a red carpet and do an interview where you say how starving you are because you haven't eaten carbs in the last month, all to fit in a bleeping dress? So wrong, so effed on 100s of levels." She continued to say, "I'm thinking, you're hurting me and you're triggering me, which means you must be triggering millions of other people who are hearing what you say. It gets me in hot water, but I guess I'd rather be in hot water than just be someone who doesn't stand for anything." So while Reinhart confessed how horrifying it is to see her name, trending on Twitter, she'd rather be labeled annoying than someone who doesn't vocalize her beliefs. Lily since has made subliminal posts about the gala, indirectly trying to throw shade, spill secrets and whatnot about the event, and share the lies everyone is actually told about how glamorous this event is. She's made a point to say that they have strict rules on what you can eat there, how you should dress, encourages you to go above and beyond to fit into an outfit for the event, and doesn't want you taking any photographs while inside because they're hiding the truth about what goes on once you're in. Well, what does go on? That's a good question. No one, not even Lily, has been brave enough yet to really blow the lid off this. Tina Fey exposed the Met Gala and said it's basically a jerk parade. Tina Fey's controversial Met Gala experience stemmed from a single attendance in 2010 where she described the event as a jerk parade filled with people she'd want to punch. Fey made these remarks during an interview with David Letterman in 2015. She has stated that she will never attend again and express frustration with the stupid things people wear and the overall vibe of the event. Her criticism focused on the fashion choices of attendees, the perceived arrogance of some individuals, and the overall atmosphere just of the event. She said, "Everyone is rude, everyone is judgmental and sketchy." She ended her rant basically by saying, "Clearly, I'll never go again." But she actually did jokingly mention being in a fart cloud of a famously mean fashion designer. So I don't know who that is, but this Anna anecdote contributed to the Met Gala's reputation for being an event where celebrities might interact with people they wouldn't typically associate with, leading to some negative perceptions. Demi Lovato said one celebrity was a complete bitch to her at the Met Gala. Now, Demi opened up about an extremely negative experience she had at the 2016 Met Gala. She revealed that she had an encounter with a celeb that was so bad it led her to text her manager and attend Alcoholics Anonymous meeting right after. She said, "I had a terrible experience. This one celebrity was a complete B-word and was miserable to be around. It was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to have a drink." She didn't name names, but that was the year she attended the Met with her stylist, hand in hand with also Nicki Minaj. So yeah, speculate as you wish. Demi explained that her experience at that AA meeting made her think about her priorities, and she had some choice words about the crowd at the Met Gala. She said, "I changed my clothes, but I still had my diamonds, millions of dollars of diamonds on in an AA meeting, and I related more to the homeless people in that meeting who struggled with the same struggles that I deal with than the people at the Met Gala, fake and sucking the fashion industries, yada yada yada." Now, despite saying she's never going again, she would, in fact, go again 6 years later. They all come crawling back, don't they? So evil? Maybe. Toxic? Most definitely. The stars have spoken, and aside from all the crazy rules like confiscating phones, no smoke breaks, spouses being separated at dinner, it's just another night to show the world who's who, cause if you aren't at the Met, do you even met her?
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or simply AOC, caused a huge stir back in 2021 for all the wrong reasons. Controversy and shocking moments is nothing new when it comes to the Met Gala. Celebrities are encouraged to come up with extremely outlandish outfits, so you're always bound to have more than a few that stir up some mixed reactions online. AOC's 2021 outfit definitely wasn't the strangest looking thing on the red carpet, but the message is what really got people going. She was wearing a fairly normal looking white dress, but written on the back in bright red letters was "Tax the Rich." Now that's pretty rich, pun intended, coming from someone who is attending such a high society event. A ticket to the Met Gala costs a whopping $30,000 US, so only the richest of the 1% can even afford to go. So obviously many people were quick to point out the unbelievable hypocrisy in AOC's message. Now, in response to the backlash she received online, the Congresswoman stated that the message was the important part and the time for healthcare and climate action for all is now. She also stated that New York elected officials are regularly invited to the gala to oversee the city's cultural institutions. No matter what excuses she managed to come up with though, the hypocrisy left a terrible image on the politician. Next on our list is Lena Dunham. Tension amongst table mates does in fact happen at the Met Gala. Usually everyone acts very cordially with each other, but there are some occasions where people just don't get along with their peers for a number of different reasons. On this occasion, we are talking about Lena Dunham's interaction with NFL player Odell Beckham Jr. at the 2016 Gala. Dunham claimed that Beckham was incredibly rude throughout the entire evening and paid absolutely no attention to her even though they were sitting at the exact same table. Dunham said in an interview for her own newsletter that the gala should be renamed the Metropolitan Museum of Getting Rejected by Athletes. She claimed that Beckham was far more interested in scrolling through Instagram rather than looking at a woman wearing a bow tie because she wasn't the perfect image in his eyes. After this bizarre and very angry outburst, Dunham had to retract some of her statements and apologize for what she said. She claimed that her emotions got the better of her, and it was incredibly easy to feel bad about yourself when you're surrounded by beautiful supermodels. It seems like fans really didn't like Dunham's behavior, and her apology wasn't too well received either. Beckham himself seemed to shrug off the angry comments and just stated that's life. Although it didn't really seem to have an effect on the NFL star, it definitely ruffled some feathers online. Up next is Demi Lovato. Leaving the event early is probably not the best way to get another invite back to the Met Gala. Lovato was attending the event in 2016, but it was pretty obvious that she was not having a very good time. She did the usual posing for photos on the red carpet to show off her outfit, but beyond that, she didn't have anything good to say about the prestigious event. Lovato was so sick of the atmosphere and the people around her that she just decided to get up and leave in the middle of the event. She later went on to explain that the people around her were unbearable and she just couldn't handle it any longer. There was one celebrity in particular who she did not initially name that was apparently the worst of them all, and this was making her want to drink. The performer has been very vocal about her substance issues in the past, so she felt that this was the best time to just leave before things got any worse. Leaving early was not a good look in the eyes of the organizers, but people really didn't like her comments about what she did after she left. Lovato decided to go to an AA meeting while still wearing her expensive diamonds and claimed she felt more like the homeless people in the meeting than the celebrities at the gala. It was a bit of a ridiculous thing to say while she was wearing expensive jewelry and comparing herself to people living in poverty. After that, we have Kim Kardashian. Alright, this one could be all sorts of different incidents. Kim really doesn't have a very good track record with the Met Gala, but that hasn't stopped her from showing up in style. She was reportedly banned from the event a few years ago, but she would still show up in any way to flaunt her latest trends. Her most controversial moment though was when she showed up to the 2022 installment wearing Marilyn Monroe's dress. This was the exact outfit the late supermodel wore when she sang "Happy Birthday Mr. President" many years ago. Many people were unhappy with Kim's decision to wear the dress and felt it was a great disservice to Monroe. It was also reported that Kim managed to damage the priceless dress while she was wearing it, which only made matters even worse. Kim tried to save face by revealing that she went on a rigorous diet to fit into the dress, but this was just another point that drove people crazy online. She explained how the diet caused her to suffer from arthritis that was so bad she couldn't even move her own hands. People claim that she was practically advertising an eating disorder in the name of fashion and was missing the point completely. It seems like Kim would have been better off just saying nothing at all instead of digging herself a bigger hole. Next up we have Jay-Z and Solange. In what has to be one of the most high-profile celebrity couples of all time, Jay-Z married Beyonce in 2008 and the pair have been together ever since. Of course, when one of the greatest rappers of all time marries one of the greatest singers of all time, that marriage is going to be analyzed by fans and paparazzi 24/7. But this marriage nearly had a very different outcome after a crazy incident unfolded during the 2014 Met Gala between Jay-Z and his sister-in-law Solange. Rumors were starting to circulate that Jay-Z had cheated on Beyonce, and Solange obviously had a little more information on this topic than the general public. It wasn't until the gala had concluded and the pair were attending an after party that Solange lost her cool and attacked Jay-Z in an elevator. Apparently she had confirmed that the rumors were true, and she was incredibly unhappy with the rapper and what he had done to her sister. The surveillance tape from the elevator was later released to the public, and things were really not looking good for Jay-Z and his relationship with Beyonce. We all remember Beyonce's 2016 album Lemonade that dropped a ton of not so subtle hints about Jay-Z's reported infidelity. Now Jay-Z did eventually come forward and apologize for what he had done and managed to save face, but this was a pretty bad look for the iconic rapper and the gala as a whole. Next on our list is Teyana Taylor and Pusha T. It's not often that a food-related incident can have such a negative impact on your career. With the high-profile guests in attendance and the very expensive admission, you would assume that the food at the Met Gala would have to be top-notch. Most of the time we don't even get to see the food since there are no cell phones allowed in the event, but some celebrities like to break the code. Pusha T decided that he was going to snap a pic of his food for the gram, but he instead decided to call out his table mate Teyana Taylor for her very unique meal choice. It seems like Taylor really wasn't enjoying the food that was provided for her and stuck in a hearty serving of Chick-fil-A to eat instead. Now Pusha T posted a pic of Teyana's meal on his Instagram story and claimed that she was embarrassing him. He then posted another story claiming that Usher tried to stop her from doing it, but she just didn't listen. Taylor was determined to get her Chick-fil-A into the Met Gala, and she definitely succeeded. Some people found it funny, but others just really didn't see the humor in it. They claimed that she had deliberately insulted the integrity of the event, and her actions were grounds for dismissal. On the other side though, some people really didn't like Pusha T being a bit of a snitch in this scenario, so this was a bit of a double-edged sword. Up next is Sarah Jessica Parker. Someone who is known for nailing the themes of every Met Gala took it one step too far. Sarah Jessica Parker has a pretty good track record of rocking some very interesting designs at the gala. We all know the event changes themes every year, and SJP always seems to nail them to a T. In 2015, however, many fans felt that she got it very wrong. The theme of that year's event was China through the looking glass, so people were encouraged to celebrate Chinese culture. Now, maybe SJP thought she had nailed another theme when she turned up in her outfit, but it ended up completely backfiring on her. The dress she chose to wear was actually very normal as far as the Met Gala goes, but her headdress caused quite a bit of controversy. Many people felt that her design was appropriating Chinese culture, and that she was feeding into the dragon lady stereotype. It wasn't a good look for someone who has become a bit of a staple at the event. This has also hurt her image in the eyes of the organizers. SJP did manage to bounce back after this fumble, but this incident turned out to be a bit of a wake-up call for her. After that, we have Jaden Smith. Bringing a piece of yourself as a date is a whole new level of weird. Jaden Smith is someone who's never been shy when it comes to expressing their fashion sense. He has worn some pretty eye-catching fits over the years, but his appearance at the 2017 Met Gala drew a lot of attention for a very different reason. Jaden Smith wore a very neutral fit that was made up of all black, but people were really curious about what he was carrying in his hand. When reporters asked him about his very bizarre prop, he informed them that they were locks of hair, and this was his date for the most prestigious night in fashion. It was a bit of a mystery why anyone would bring their own hair as a date, but Jaden stated that if his sister Willow couldn't come as his date, then his own hair would have to do. This didn't really destroy his career by any stretch, but it certainly cast Jaden Smith in a very bizarre light. Even for Met Gala standards, this move from Jaden was just really strange. No one could really make any heads or tails of it, and if there was any sort of subliminal message hidden behind the unsettling prop. He also rocked some eye-catching gold grills that were sparkling every time he opened his mouth, but even that couldn't distract anyone from his hair date. Next on our list is Liv Tyler and Stella McCartney. This one had to be just as awkward as it was controversial. Back in 1999, Liv Tyler and Stella McCartney, both daughters of rock and roll legends, showed up to the Met Gala incredibly underdressed. Most people tend to make waves at this event for their over-the-top designs, but Tyler and McCartney looked like they were ready for an actual rock concert. Now, in their defense, the theme of the event this year was rock style, but they clearly had no idea what the event was all about. Stella McCartney was in fact a fashion designer, and decided to go with a very simple idea once she received the invite and the theme for the event. Very basic white shirts with rock royalty written on them were the outfits of choice, but it's pretty obvious why this didn't go over very well with the organizers. Usually we're always talking about people who push the boundaries with their crazy designs at the gala, but Tyler and McCartney were catching attention for all the wrong reasons. In a sea of people who are wearing giant dresses and oversized heels, two girls wearing sleeveless t-shirts were always going to look out of place. Many people criticized the women for their lack of research on the event and decided that their outfits were an actual disgrace to the gala. From the other side of things though, this is probably the closest anyone got to actually following the rock style theme on a real level. And last but certainly not least, we have Jared Leto. This isn't even one isolated incident. This is a collection of absolutely weird and outlandish Jared Leto outfits that caused quite a stir online. The singer and actor is pretty much a show on his own at every single Met Gala. No one manages to push the boundaries as far as Leto, but that has led to a whole host of mixed feelings online. Just last year, Leto showed up in a super creepy cat suit and really embraced the whole furry persona. It was so strange seeing a giant cat walk through the crowd of people on the red carpet, but there was a collective yeah, not surprised moment when the head came off and revealed that Leto was inside. Some of his past outfits have included a matching twin outfit with Alessandro Michele in 2022, as well as a human head prop in 2019. He's definitely built up a bit of a reputation as the wildest celebrity at the Met Gala, but again, this has led to some mixed emotions. Even for the Met Gala's crazy standards, some believe that he is just taking things too far and is almost disrespecting the integrity of the event. Even though over-the-top fashion is heavily encouraged, Leto really pushes the envelope. So much so that when Frederick Robertson showed up in an outrageous outfit in 2022, everyone just assumed that it was Jared Leto in disguise. Whether anyone likes it or not though, the Met Gala and Jared Leto are clearly tied at the hip with their crazy fashion statements.
Katy Perry was a victim of fake AI posts yesterday. Perry was not present at the event, but photos of her on the Met carpet were going viral online. Turns out they were AI-generated pictures. Two photos had been making the rounds on the internet, both fakes. The reason photos may have slipped over people's heads at first likely has to do with the type of event the Met Gala is. The dresses in the photos were perfectly on theme and over the top and looked completely impractical to wear, but that's exactly what Katy Perry is known for at the Met. Think back to that time she wore a literal hamburger. That looked more uncomfortable than the AI creations. The photos were also going viral before most of the streams of the carpet went live. People knew celebrities were already hitting the carpet. Even though the streams weren't live, media hosts Emma Chamberlain and Ashley Graham had already done their walk up. Completely reasonable to think Katy had already walked up too. Some of the initial tweets featuring the photos have received over 10 million views. The photos were so convincing, they fooled herself, Katie's own mom. The singer shared a screenshot of her conversation with her mother, clarifying the photo wasn't real, with the message, "LOL mom, the AI got you too, beware." There are tells in the photo that it is AI, like the photographer is looking a little wonky in the back and the carpet being for a different year. The dress is just so stunning, you truly don't really look at anything else at first, but that's one of the major concerns people have with AI, creating something a little bit too believable. Many music artists, including Perry, recently signed an open letter warning about the dangers of AI when it comes to creating art. Another victim of AI fakes was Rihanna. Rihanna is the belle of the Met Gala ball, even this year when she didn't even attend. I mean, Rihanna not attending is a fail on its own for viewers, but she had a perfectly good reason to miss. She had planned on going, even commenting on her outfit before, saying it would be real simple this year, but nature had other plans, keeping Rihanna home with the flu. But she was there in the museum in the form of fake AI images. Regarding the fake AI, it was the same story as Katy Perry. Rihanna is known for her over-the-top, perfectly on-theme outfits, so when the over-the-top, perfectly themed outfits started hitting people's Twitter feed, there was no reason to believe they weren't real on first glance. Of course, it was too good to be true. Rihanna wasn't physically there, but possibly the most iconic look to ever see the Met Gala since its debut on the Met steps, the embroidered yellow masterpiece has traveled around the world, being shown in various museums. It's brought up every year when the Met Gala happens. Hopefully, we will get to see the look Rihanna planned to wear last night, though, sometime soon. Everybody thought Doja Cat was about to serve the biggest fashion fail of the Met Gala ever, wearing towels. When she stepped out of her hotel for the photo call that happened on the way to the Met, the singer was wearing her hair up in a towel as a dress, and had long mascara cry lines running down her face. Stepping out like this, everyone quickly began to make comments about how strange the outfit was and how towels should not be going on the Met Gala red carpet, especially not with this year's theme. It seemed Doja was just messing with everyone. That wasn't her actual outfit, though it did tie into the real deal. Doja's carpet outfit was a wet, floor-length white t-shirt. Many people still consider this a fashion fail, but I think the Met was the perfect backdrop for this look. Doja explained the meaning behind the dress, saying she wanted to incorporate the most used fashion plant into her dress, cotton. So she wore a cotton t-shirt and used hair gel to make it look wet. I saw people comparing her to marble statues you see in many gardens, the wet fabric looking like expertly crafted marble. There was also the theme of the exhibit, pieces that can never be worn again. The white t-shirt was so covered in hair gel, I'm sure no one could ever wash and wear that again. I think Doja was reversing time here with her look, taking a shower in reverse. She showed up in the last step first, the towel, then she was in the actual shower, and then her after party look, a fully nude outfit, was the getting ready to shower. Doja looked like she was having fun with her fashion, though this did get her on a few worst dressed lists. The queen of the Met Gala, Blake Lively, missed the event this year, and she was greatly missed. She also skipped last year due to the fact that she recently had a child, but people were hoping the star would make an appearance at this year's gala, especially after she made an appearance at a Tiffany & Co event in NYC last week. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, much to the disappointment of Met watchers. Lively is one celebrity everyone can count on to not only follow the theme, but also just knock it out of the park. Her past looks have gone down in Met history, like her red dress for the Heavenly Bodies theme, or her Statue of Liberty inspired dress from her last Met. The fashion queen was missed this year, but it's understandable if her and husband Ryan Reynolds wanted a night in with their family instead. Kendall Jenner's after-party look was more on theme than her carpet look, at least that's what some fans are saying online. To the actual carpet, Jenner wore the never-worn archival Alexander McQueen piece. The piece was stunning, but it was a startling contrast from all the other outfits people had been seeing, as it was all black and it did not appear to have many floral or soft accents. Because of this, people started calling the model out for not sticking to the theme. Kendall later explained why she felt the piece was a perfect fit for the theme. It was a true Sleeping Beauty. The piece was designed for Alexander McQueen's fall 1999 Givenchy couture collection, and it was only ever seen on a mannequin. Kendall wearing it was the first time the piece had ever been worn, waking it up. The story is beautiful, but just looking at it with no context, yeah, it just doesn't look like it fits in. Kendall's second look and third look, they absolutely fit in. They are stunning. One of her after party looks was a Vivienne Westwood inspired white lace mini dress. The intricacy of the lace fitting fitting right in with this year's theme, and her second after-party look was another Alexander McQueen for Givenchy look, this one from spring 1997. A white dress with a corset that looked like angel wings and a flowy skirt. About the later looks in comparison to the carpet look, one ex-user wrote, "It never fails to amaze me how Kendall will consistently nail the Met theme at the after-party, but not on the carpet." Met photographers are being called out online for comments they made while photographing K-pop boy band Stray Kids. An important part of the Met are the photographers and the camera operators. Without them, we would have nothing to talk about. However, some photographers were caught in a live stream speaking rudely to the band. One particular live stream was held right in the middle of all the photographers. Great for the audience, we had the celebrities practically posing directly at us. However, maybe not so great for photographers, as we could hear almost everything they said. For the most part, it was just a lot of over the shoulder and big smile, and most subjects were singles or couples, so they were easy to shoot. Stray Kids is a big band though, 8 men all standing in a line. That's a bit harder to get a good shot so close. Many photographers began voicing their frustration, shouting at the band to keep standing close together even though they were already pretty close, speaking in a mocking tone, calling out fans screaming, and making backhanded comments about the way the group was posing. One thing you should never do is anger a K-pop fandom. Fans of Stray Kids have been sharing and reposting the clip from the carpet, calling for the Met to hold the photographers accountable. One writing, "Please make sure there is accountability taken so that none of these vile trash photographers are given credentials again at Met Museum." From photos seen of the band later on, it seems like these comments either weren't heard or they didn't care because the band looked like they were having a lot of fun. Taylor Swift's best friend and her enemy just interacted on the Met carpet last night, and fans are losing it. Lana Del Rey made an appearance at the Met in a stunning nature-inspired dress, and Kim Kardashian made an appearance as well in a fitted gray and silver ensemble. Both women looked awesome, and they weren't afraid to snap a few official pics together on the carpet, much to the disappointment of Taylor Swift fans. What are Taylor fans fighting and moaning about? Well, Lana Del Rey is good friends of Taylor's. They collaborated on music together. Taylor even attended the Grammys with Lana. Taylor and Kim though, that friendship has crashed and burned. They were friends, then Kim edited the phone call of Taylor consenting to the famous lyrics and made Taylor look bad, and then Taylor was getting bullied so much she disappeared for a year. It wasn't good. The pair haven't been friends since that, and Taylor has written many tracks people believe are about Kim K. The most recent being "Thank You Amy" with certain letters capitalized in the title to spell out Kim. So Lana being all buddy-buddy with Kim has angered many Taylor fans, some calling the situation wrong and referring to Lana as a fake friend. Kim Kardashian showed up to the Met Gala and soon had people worrying about her health. Kim K wore a silver and gray John Galliano look with a shawl. The dress was stunning, people weren't in love with the sweater, but it was honestly difficult to focus on anything except Kim K's waistline because of her tight corset. She looked great, and I'm sure that the look she was going for was achieved, but the corset had cinched Kim's waist so much it was all people could talk about, many saying it looked like she couldn't breathe. Due to the tightness of the dress, Kim needed assistance walking up the staircase, which only added to people's concern. The Skims owner is known for making headlines at the Met Gala, and this year is no different. People are trolling Chris Hemsworth for his simple outfit, despite the fact that he was a co-chair for the event this year. People are not big fans of Hemsworth's outfit from yesterday. Not that he looked bad, many people just thought the look was a little boring. It was a beige Tom Ford 3-piece suit. He did spice it up with a couple necklaces, but that was it. Many people felt he didn't follow this theme super well and just wasn't very interesting in comparison to the other co-chairs. He did have some serious competition though. Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, and of course the fashion icon princess of the Met, Zendaya. Hemsworth's suit just didn't hold up when compared to Bad Bunny's extravagant striped suit, bouquet, and headpiece, Lopez's intricately beaded gown, or Zendaya's two incredible looks. Lizzo is being criticized for a fat-phobic caption she posted about the Met Gala. The singer attended the event wearing a nude, partially sheer dress. Her undergarments, which could be seen through the outer layer, were covered in colorful petals, and the dress had petals falling down it. The bottom was kind of like flipped up and created this catch-all thing for the petals to fall into. She also had a petal-catching basket headpiece too. It's pretty unclear to fans what is going on. The dress is being referred to as the vase dress. I also think it looks like when you get a bouquet and they wrap it in paper. I think she looks looks great. Not many people agreed with me though. Fans and the general public took to their various social media accounts to troll the singer or voice their general confusion regarding the look. This prompted Lizzo to post the controversial caption, "If I'm not in your best dressed, you're fatphobic." The caption was not received well at all. Comments soon began pouring in, people doubling down on their hatred for the dress. One user writing, "The used filter of the coffee." Another, "I'm not fatphobic, I just don't like the headpiece." Another saying Lizzo was wearing a dog cone. Some people were more chill with their comments. One fan writing, "That's an incredible dress and a great photo, but that comment was completely unnecessary. I love Lizzo, but that commentary needs to stop." Despite all the backlash, the post and the caption are still on Lizzo's account as of this morning. As you might be able to tell, I was very excited about the theme this year and I thought people really did show up for it. The looks were absolutely stunning. My favorites being Tyla, Aaliyah Bhatt, Mona Patel, Rachel Zegler, and more.
Starting off, we have Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Now, fans were eager to see if the new It couple would make their debut at the Met Gala together, but unfortunately, those fans will be left disappointed. I know I sure am. Sources with direct knowledge told TMZ that the Grammy winner and NFL superstar were each issued individual invitations to the Met Gala, but both have RSVP'd no. Now, Taylor has a pretty good reason for skipping the event, which takes place on May 6th, because that's the same week she gets back on the road for her Eras tour with a stop in Paris on May 9th. Now, it's unclear why Travis declined the invitation, but it's fair to assume that he's missing it because Taylor won't be there. Or even better, because he'll be with her on tour. Hey, there'll always be other Met Galas, but the Eras Tour is a once-in-a-lifetime event, so I don't blame Travis for not going at all. Now hopefully they'll be able to attend the event next year together though. Next up is Gwyneth Paltrow. In an interview with USA Today, Gwyneth Paltrow condemned the Met Gala as being so unfun, saying that she was never going again after not being able to walk the red carpet alongside her then husband, Chris Martin. In 2013, she said, "It sucked. It seems like it's going to be the best thing in the world. You always think, oh my god, it's gonna be so glamorous and amazing, and you're going to see all these people, and then you get there and it's so hot and it's so crowded and everyone's pushing you." However, it seemed that she had a change of heart and later attended the event in 2017 and again in 2019 and 2022. But she was absent from the event in 2023 and it appears that she won't make it this year either, but hey, I don't blame her. Then there's Tina Fey. Despite managing to score an invite to the 2010 Met Gala, comedian Tina Fey thinks she won't be getting another one. In an interview with David Letterman, Tina called the event a jerk parade and told Letterman that he wasn't missing out on anything special. "Every jerk from every walk of life is there wearing like some stupid thing," she said, adding that her husband, Jeff Richmond, wasn't a fan. "Clearly, I'll never go again," she added. "You walk up these huge steps, and I went and I dragged my husband along with me too, which I'm still in trouble for." Now, she continued telling Letterman stories from the event, including how she ended up hanging out with Barbara Walters. But yeah, in theory it sounds fun, but actually being there, I don't know. Then we have Zayn Malik. Former One Direction member Zayn Malik only attended the Met Gala once, but according to him, once was definitely enough. Now, he walked the carpet in 2016 with his then girlfriend Gigi Hadid, though he didn't have a good time. In an interview with GQ, Zayn described the event as self-indulgent. "The Met Gala is not necessarily anything that I ever knew about or was about, but my former stylist would say to me, this is really good for you to do. And no matter how strong you are mentally, you can always be swayed to do certain things." He continued, "Now it's not something I would go to. I'd rather be sitting at my house doing something productive than dressing up in really expensive clothes and being photographed on a red carpet." Now, fans also believe that he may have been banned from the gala due to the disparaging comments that he made, according to Cosmopolitan. But honestly, I don't think he cares, as I don't think he would ever go again anyway. Now let's talk about Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato attended the Met Gala in 2016 for the first and last time. In an interview with Billboard, Demi said that they had a terrible experience after attending the gala while trying to remain sober. "I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink," Demi recalled, saying that they eventually left the event and attended an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting instead. "I changed my clothes but still had my diamonds on, millions of dollars of diamonds on in an AA meeting. And I related more to the homeless people in that meeting who struggled with the same struggles that I deal with than the people at the Met Gala." Yeah, that does not sound like a good experience, and I don't blame them for not wanting to attend again. Now, Demi also called out a certain celebrity who had been awful to be around, saying, "This one celebrity was a complete B and was miserable to be around." Now, according to People, the celebrity Demi had been talking about was allegedly Nicki Minaj, as the two had both been accompanied by designer Jeremy Scott. Amy Schumer recalled her first Met Gala experience in 2016 as being short-lived in an interview with Howard Stern. "I left earlier than I should have been allowed," Amy said, adding that she had met Beyonce, who asked Amy if it was her first time at the event, to which Amy replied that it would be her last. Now, she also candidly revealed that she believed the gala was a farce. "It's people doing an impression of having a conversation," she said. "We're dressing up like a bunch of effing a-holes. I don't like it. I have no interest in fashion. I don't care." Now, although Amy bashed the event, she ended up returning in 2017, telling Stephen Colbert that she had to go home early and black out on my own. She then made an appearance at the 2019 Met Gala, though not as a guest, but had stopped for a quick photo outside of the museum just before giving birth to her son. Moving on to Lena Dunham. Lena Dunham had attended the Met Gala in 2016, and she recalled having an awful time. Now, according to Page 6, both Lena and Amy Schumer talked about their Met Gala experience in Lena's weekly feminist newsletter, Lenny Letter, which has since been shut down. "You and I were literally sitting across from each other at the Met Ball, and it was a crazy countdown to when we could escape. You were like, 'We are honored to be here, we're honored to be here,'" Lena told Amy. Lena revealed that one major reason she'd wanted to go home so early: "I was sitting next to Odell Beckham Jr., and it was so amazing because he looked at me and he determined I was not the shape of a woman by his standards," she said. "He was like, 'That's a marshmallow, that's a child, that's a dog.' It wasn't mean, he just seemed confused. The vibe was very much like, 'Do I want to F it? Is it wearing a, yep, it's wearing a tuxedo. I'm going back to my cell phone,'" Lena continued. "It was like we were forced to be together, and he literally was scrolling Instagram rather than have to look at a woman in a bow tie. I was like, this should be called the Metropolitan Museum of Getting Rejected by Athletes." Next up is Diddy. Now, this has less to do with him boycotting and more of him being banned. Now, he has been removed from the 2024 guest list following his recent legal issues. Now, if you don't know, Diddy's house was raided and he has lawsuit after lawsuit against him. Apparently, or from what I can gather, it's been somewhat of an open secret in Hollywood that Diddy is creepy and that you should never go to his house or parties. It appears though that the government really had a case against him, and so much is being exposed. Due to this, no one wants to be associated with him, so it's no shock that he wouldn't be going to the Met. Now, according to the National Enquirer, when speaking about Diddy, a source said, "Now he finds himself grappling not only with the preservation of his reputation, but also with the loss of his standing with an industry that has unequivocally distanced itself from him." Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get invited to any award shows or events anytime soon. Then there's Jared Leto. Jared Leto told E! News that he would unfortunately wouldn't be able to attend the 2024 Met Gala because he and his band 30 Seconds to Mars will be in Europe for their Seasons to World tour. Back on the road, Jared said, "It's been 5 years. I will be there in spirit with my head and my cat, wishing everyone a beautiful night," he added. Now, in the past, Jared has had some very memorable fashion moments at the Met Gala, including in 2019 when he carried a replica of his head on the red carpet, and in 2023 when he dressed up as the late Chanel designer Karl Lagerfeld's beloved cat, Chopette. Now, I feel like people, especially some of the men, don't think outside the box like Jared does when it comes to his looks, so I'm sure he'll be missed dearly this year. And lastly, we have Billy Porter. Billy Porter will not be attending the Met Gala on Monday, May 6th to grieve his mother, who died in February. "I just lost my mom," Billy told E! News at the Time 100 Gala on Thursday, April 25th. "I have to take care of myself, so I'm doing that, and that means not going to the party sometimes." Fans of the Met know the time and consideration it takes to pull together a look, with most attendees spending months creating their red carpet ensembles. Now, Billy noted that he can't do everything and that he needs a break, joking, "Daddy's tired." Now, Billy publicly announced the news of his mother's death at age 79 in a joint statement with his sister. "We were right beside her when she took her last breath, wrapped in our arms," the siblings wrote via Instagram on February 29th. "Mommy lived life to the fullest despite physical limitations pressed upon her. She was the personification of true Christianity, and her unconditional love is a template that the world could benefit from employing." Now, their statement continued with, "Her example is what we continue to strive for." Now, Billy has become a fixture at the Met Gala thanks to his lavish looks year after year, but it is completely understandable why he won't be attending this year.
At number 10, Dakota Johnson and friends. In most establishments, there's a rule against smoking. These days, smoking and vaping is not allowed indoors, and there are designated areas for people to do that outside. This really isn't anything new, but there are still those select few who choose to disregard those rules and guidelines and do it anyway. This is how a scandal was caused at the Met Gala in 2017. A handful of celebrities who attended the gala that year were caught smoking in the venue's bathroom, and they broke one of the gala's set rules against smoking in the venue. Every year, the Met Gala is held at the Metropolitan Museum, and since it's in New York, the city health department has a rule against smoking in specific areas as per one of their health acts. But it seems that although this rule was still in effect at the time of the gala, some celebrities were like nah and had a couple cigarettes inside it regardless. Stars like Dakota Johnson, Bella Hadid, Rami Malek, and others were posting their little rendezvous on social media, which is how they got caught and got into some trouble for it as well. As a result of their rule breaking, the gala as well as the health department put measures in place to make sure that this kind of thing never happened again so that no one would get fined. Spoiler alert, it happened again. At number 9, Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez. There is a pretty strict rule that the Met Gala has put in place that says that you cannot post pictures from inside the event, and that means no selfies. There's also a rule against cell phones at the event as well, almost to ensure that no one can take selfies even if they wanted to. Well, a lot of people, as you will see, have broken those rules on several occasions, and we're going to start with Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez, who broke the no selfie rule at the Met Gala in 2019. A-Rod and J-Lo took a number of selfies that night. First, they took a photo with their friends Kim K and Kanye West, and A-Rod posted that photo on his Instagram. Later on, he posted a selfie of him and J-Lo to his Instagram story, and yet another Insta story post, this time with Jimmy Fallon. Really, A-Rod was the one who broke the rule because every picture was posted on his account, but J-Lo was kind of his accomplice. Now, before I carry on with the video, I would like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also consider subscribing to the channel so you can keep seeing awesome videos like this one. At number 8, Keke Palmer. Next, we seemingly have two rules that were broken, but not necessarily by the same person. At this year's Met Gala, Keke Palmer was in attendance, and being the real one that she is, she wanted to show her followers what things were really like for celebrities who went to the event. No one really knows what goes on at the event once everyone goes inside, but Keke wanted to at least give her followers a look at what the dining experience was like, and it's not the most flattering thing ever. Keke broke the no photos rule by taking a picture of her plate of food at the event and posting it to her Instagram story. The response was pretty negative because a lot of people figured that for a $30,000 ticket, the food should have been at least a little more impressive. But as I said, another rule was also broken with that photo, and chef Marcus Samuelsson was the one to sort of break it. On top of all the other Met Gala rules like no smoking, no publicists, everyone being obliged to mingle, and so on, there's also a rule that the food being served must be, quote, attractive. Now, unless they're talking about their human sacrifice, because the Met is obviously an Illuminati event, I'm pretty sure this means that the food has to look presentable. Now, judging by Keke's photo of the food, the argument could be made that the chef broke the attractive food rule. No one has said anything about the chef getting in trouble for what Keke posted about his plating, but you never know. It's the Illuminati after all. At number 7, Laura Harrier. Here's another celebrity who broke the no selfie rule at the Met Gala in 2019. Actress and model Laura Harrier was attending the event, and she seemed to have run into her Spider-Man Homecoming castmate Zendaya. Obviously, they had to snap a photo together, and Laura posted a couple of selfies with her to her her Instagram story. Again, this broke the no selfie rule as well as the no cell phone rule, but honestly, at this point, I kind of have to ask myself if these rules are really even all that enforced, because clearly there are a lot of celebrities going around and posing and posting, and no one's heard anything about people really facing any consequences for it. Do you think that these rules are actually real, or do you think that they're made up to make the event seem more strict and elite? At number 6, Luca Sabat and Cole Sprouse. Here's a couple of bad boys breaking a couple of rules at the 2019 Met Gala. Luca Sabat and Cole Sprouse were caught breaking several rules all at once, and that is a big no-no. Not only did they break the no selfies rule, being that they were caught doing a mirror selfie, but they also broke the rule against having phones at the event because A, they took a selfie on a phone, and B, the phone was featured in the mirror selfie. Most importantly though, they broke the no smoking rule. These two were caught having a quick smoke in the bathroom at the Met, and as we all know, you cannot smoke inside, especially at an event like this. What's funny about the picture too is the fact that there was a no smoking sign in the shot. They just decided to ignore it. But even after this one instance of rule breaking, Luca continued to be rebellious at the event, going around taking pictures of other celebrities. Not necessarily selfies, but just other photos of celebrities like Gwen Stefani, Katy Perry, Ezra Miller, and Kendall Jenner. At number 5, Serena Williams and Ciara. More selfie rule breakers here. Famous tennis player Serena Williams and singer Ciara broke Met Gala rules back in 2019 when they decided to sneak a cheeky little mirror selfie together. Unlike many other selfie rule breakers, they only took one photo and just left it at that, but at this point, with so many celebrities breaking the same rule, I just have to think that maybe they should just get rid of the rule altogether, right? I mean, no one is following this rule, and no one hears of any officials enforcing this rule, so why not let these celebrities just take their photos in peace? They're gonna do it anyway, right? Anyway, Serena snapped this photo and posted it to her Instagram, showing off their campy dresses, which didn't actually break the rules because they totally matched the theme, so at least it didn't go there breaking all of the rules. At number 4, Kim Kardashian. Kim K has tried to bring the thunder for every Met Gala she's attended. I mean, this year's look was a little debatable because she kind of just looked like someone's sleep paralysis demon, but whatever. Anyways, Kim has been trying to serve looks at every event, but in 2013, not only did she not serve, but she totally missed the mark and completely broke the rules. The theme of the Met Gala that year was punk, chaos, and couture, and so a lot of people showed up wearing some kind of take on edgy fashion. There was a lot of variations on punk style and aesthetic, but Kim totally dropped the ball when she showed up to the event wearing a floor-length floral dress. The look just didn't match with the theme at all, and the tone of her outfit was much softer and brighter than the looks of most other celebrities in attendance, and so she stuck out that night. She totally broke the rule for not following the theme, and that probably didn't help her case with Anna Wintour, one of the people who runs the event, but up until the point that Kim got with Kanye, Anna hated the Kardashians and never invited them to the event. At number 3, Lizzo. Back on our rule breaker train, we have Lizzo, who at the Met Gala in 2019 broke the no selfie rule several times because she had a field day taking photos with a bunch of celebrities at the event. I'm going to chalk this all up to the fact that this was her first Met Gala and she was excited to be there, but she broke the rules nonetheless. Over the course of the evening, the singer took selfies with J-Lo, Sarah Paulson, Tracy Ellis Ross, Billy Porter, and Dua Lipa. All of her selfies were posted to her Instagram story, and it was pretty fun to watch her having so much fun at the event because I remember seeing these Instagram posts, but at the time I didn't know that there was a rule against the selfies. I wonder if any of the event's authorities were also watching Lizzo's story that night, seeing her break the no selfie rule over and over again. At number 2, Demi Lovato. Back in 2016, Demi Lovato attended the Met Gala, and the theme for that night was Manus Ex Machina, fashion in an age of technology. Though the dress that they wore to the event that night was very nice and bold, a lot of people found that the look just wasn't fitting the gala's theme, therefore breaking one of the event's rules. Well, when backlash started to ensue, the designer of the dress in question came out to clarify things, saying that the dress wasn't even designed to fit the theme in the first place. The designer, Jeremy Scott, told sources that he doesn't design outfits for the event with a theme in mind. The designer then went on to tell the source, quote, "I really don't participate with that whole theme thing," end quote. So Demi went to the event wearing a dress that they knew wasn't going to fit the theme and still wore it anyway to break the rules intentionally. I think that's pretty bold, but let's just hope that they didn't get into too much trouble. And finally, at number 1, Karlie Kloss. The Met Gala is all about fashion, and there's that rule that says that those who attend the event must try and coordinate their looks to fit the theme set for that night. There have been many extravagant looks and other more simplistic ones, but the whole point is just to go along with the overall energy of the event regardless. One person who actually faced backlash and broke the rules for not meeting the event standards was Karlie Kloss. Karlie showed up to the Met Gala in 2019, whose event was camp themed, and she was looking a little too simple for the event, wearing a black and gold dress with simple jewelry, natural makeup, and a simple hairstyle. A lot of fans were seriously let down by her outfit that evening, especially after she tweeted about her look, hyping it up and saying, quote, "looking camp right in the eye." She didn't necessarily get in that much trouble with people who organized the event, but Karlie's fans got pretty upset that she didn't follow the Met Gala's theme, and she faced a pretty decent amount of criticism. She had to make an apology for her look shortly after the event, and she posted a video to her YouTube channel addressing the situation, saying that she should have just tried harder.
And at number 10, Donald Trump. Donald Trump attended the Met Gala numerous times with his wife Melania in the past, because New York socialites and even political figures are often invited to the Met. However, after he became president and enacted very controversial laws, he was banned from ever attending again. Many rumored he might be banned after many controversial statements, but this is one of the few people that Anna Wintour herself actually confirmed will not be invited back. And if you didn't already know, Wintour has been the editor-in-chief of Vogue since 1988, and she handpicks every person who is invited to the Met Ball. When Anna was asked during a segment of James Corden's Fill Your Guts or Spill Your Guts who she would never invite back to the Met again, she swiftly replied, Donald Trump. And at number 9, Kim Kardashian. These days it's hard to imagine a Met Gala without Kim Kardashian. When Kim was just known as a reality star back in the day, Anna revealed that she would not be inviting her to the Met. Apparently in 2012, Anna was adamant about not inviting Kim to keep the prestige of the event. A source even told Page 6 that, quote, Anna hates Kim. However, that all changed in 2013 when Kanye brought a pregnant Kim Kardashian to the Met Gala as his guest, which is something that Anna could not refuse. Since then, Kim has become a staple in high fashion and elevated her brand to be one of the most influential people in the world. And these days, the fashion world cannot ignore the Kardashian influence, and multiple Kardashian sisters are invited to the Met each year. And at number 8, Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn is incredibly well known in the fashion world and is somewhat of a staple on fashion television, as he starred in shows like Making the Cut and Project Runway. But even though he is fashion royalty, he said the wrong thing about Anna Wintour and has paid the price with his invite being permanently revoked. In 2006, Gunn was asked to recall the most unforgettable thing he's seen in fashion by the New York Post, and he answered, quote, watching Anna Wintour being carried down 5 flights of stairs by 2 bodyguards from a fashion show. Anna didn't like these comments, so Vogue asked for a retraction, but he refused, and his invite was taken as a result. He's claimed that he's been in a war with Anna and her team ever since. And at number 7, Khloe Kardashian. Most of the Kardashians get invited to the Met every year, with Kim, Kendall, and Kylie being staples at the event. Even Kris Jenner gets invited most of the time. However, neither Kourtney or Khloe have ever attended a Met Ball. Apparently that's because Khloe is banned, and Kourtney has never been relevant enough to grace the very A-list event. But it was rumored that Kourtney and her boyfriend Travis Barker were actually invited to the esteemed event this year, which would have been Kourtney's first Met, but Kourtney decided not to go for the sake of Khloe. A source said, quote, Khloe and Kourtney have never been invited to the Met Gala, but Kourtney was invited to this one and chose to stay home with Khloe because she didn't want to leave her alone. Another part of this is that the Met is known to be Kim's event, and she prefers that her sisters do not go so she can shine solo. If you're wondering why Khloe gets the cold shoulder, apparently she's too C-list for the event. And at number 6, Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj went viral on the night of the Met because she tweeted that she didn't attend the event because of the vaccine requirement. She tweeted during the event, quote, they want you to get vaccinated for the Met. If I get vaccinated, it won't be for the Met. It'll be once I feel that I've done enough research. I'm working on that now. In the meantime, my loves, be safe, wear the mask with 2 strings that grips your head and face, not that loose one. She added in a follow-up tweet that her cousin in Trinidad won't get it because his friend got the vaccine and became impotent after, finishing, quote, so just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. And I can assume that after calling out the event for their mandate, she will not be asked back. Halfway at number 5, Coco Rocha. Coco Rocha is one of the most well-known models ever, so it's strange that she never attends the Met anymore. But apparently Katy Perry is the reason that she's been blacklisted. In 2017, Katy Perry was one of the co-chairs of the event, which means she has an elevated role in the event and even has a hand in the guest list. The feud between these ladies actually happened years before in 2013 at the MTV VMAs when Katy wore the exact same Emmanuel Ungaro dress that Coco had worn to that year's Met Gala a few months before. After Perry wore the dress, Coco joked about it in an interview in a way that Perry found offensive, so they've been on bad terms ever since. When asked about why she wouldn't be attending the Met Gala back in 2017, Coco Rocha told the the Post, quote, "I don't know, you'll have to ask Anna Wintour that." In at number 4, Tina Fey. Tina Fey is hilarious, and she's well known for poking fun at her own celebrity and not taking herself too seriously, which aren't things that go well at the Met. After she attended the Met, she shared her experience with David Letterman in 2015. When asked if she had gone, she responded that she had, and that it was, quote, "such a jerk parade," adding, quote, "every jerk from every walk of life is there, wearing like some stupid thing. I dragged my husband along with me, which I'm still in trouble for." But she didn't stop there. She added later, quote, "if you had a million arms, all the people you'd want to punch are there." And it seems that after those comments, she knew she would not be invited back, and she added, quote, "clearly I'll never go again." And at number 3, Josh Hartnett. Banned is probably a pretty strong word for the treatment of Josh Hartnett. A better term would be not relevant enough to attend. And there are tons of celebrities that are not famous enough to attend because fame is always changing based on whatever project celebrity has been a part of. The biggest sting against Josh specifically is that he was shown in a documentary about the Met called The First Monday in May, wherein Calvin Klein's team called up Vogue to request a seat for Hartnett, and they harshly responded, quote, "what has he done lately? Nothing. You guys are all set." Based on this response, it's clear that he's not banned for life, more so temporarily banned until he gets cast in something noteworthy. And at number 2, Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer is another celebrity that's made a name for herself by making fun of everything. But of course, making fun of the Met is gonna have some consequences. In 2016, Amy Schumer was asked about the event while on the Howard Stern show, and she said, quote, "it's people doing an impression of having a conversation. I don't like the farce. We're all dressed up like a bunch of effing a-holes." Adding, quote, "I have no interest in fashion. I don't care. I left earlier than I should have been allowed. I got to meet Beyonce, and she was like, 'is this your first Met Gala?' and I was like, 'it's my last.'" So again, Amy was self-aware that she either would not be invited back, or she knew she just wouldn't attend again even if she was invited. And finally, number 1, Demi Lovato. Demi has only been to the Met Gala once, and it seems that one time might be their last, either because they won't be invited back, or Demi just won't want to go. Demi spoke about their time at the gala with Billboard and said it was a horrible experience, saying, quote, "I had a terrible experience. This one celebrity was a complete bitch and was miserable to be around. It was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink." This was very shocking because this was around the time that Demi was trying to get sober, and apparently the Met set her back off course. Demi added that they went straight to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting after the Met, saying, quote, "I changed my clothes, but I still had my diamonds on. Millions of dollars of diamonds on an AA meeting." There was also a big scandal involving Nicki Minaj that followed the event. Nicki didn't tag Demi in a photo of them after the ball, to which Demi called her out for. This started another war, making the night even more awful for Demi than it was before.
At number 10, Karlie Kloss. The Met Gala is all about fashion, and those who attend the event are usually trying to pull off the best look that fits the theme for that year. There have been many extravagant looks and other more simplistic ones, but the overall point here is to try going along with the overall energy of the event. One person actually faced backlash for not really trying hard enough to meet the event standard, and that was Karlie Kloss, who people say ignored the 2019 Met Gala camp theme. Karlie showed up to the event looking a little too simple for the event, wearing a black and gold dress with simple jewelry, natural makeup, and a simple hairstyle. A lot of fans were seriously let down by her outfit that evening, especially after she tweeted about her look, hyping it up and saying, quote, "looking camp right in the eyes." As strange as it might sound, Karlie's fans got pretty upset that she didn't really follow the Met's theme and faced a pretty decent amount of criticism. She had to kind of apologize for her look shortly after, as she posted a video to her YouTube channel addressing the situation, saying that she should have tried harder. At number 9, Sarah Jessica Parker. Every year the Met Gala chooses a theme, and those who attend the event are urged to show up in some kind of couture that fits said theme. For a lot of celebrities, they either work alongside some designers to come up with the perfect look for the gala, but sometimes these looks can go too far and end up offending people in the process. Take for example some of the Met Gala looks from 2015. The theme of the gala that year was China through the looking glass, and a lot of people found that many of the stars who attended the event that night were appropriating Chinese culture. Among one of the most heavily criticized celebrities was Sarah Jessica Parker. At the event, Sarah wore a custom black gown with a large headpiece, and this bold accessory faced quite a lot of backlash. The headpiece was criticized for its quote, "dragon lady stereotype," something that sexualizes and villainizes Chinese women. A lot of fans made the point that these celebrities could have just worn pieces from Chinese designers to fit the theme rather than appropriate the culture. Now before I carry on talking about these cancelled celebrities, I'd first like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it because it really helps the channel out. At number 8, Carolina Kakova. I just told you about one celebrity who faced backlash for cultural appropriation at the Met Gala, but I have another one to tell you about that actually happened on the same night. Since the theme for the 2015 Met Gala was China through the looking glass, a lot of people came dressed in altered versions of traditional Chinese garments, and it offended a lot of people. Another guest who got a lot of hate for their outfit that night was model Carolina Kakova because she came in a sexualized version of a cheap how. Much like a lot of other celebrities who showed up that night, their looks faced a lot of backlash because normally these looks affect women from this culture negatively, and the double standard of these other people being praised was seen as hurtful and offensive. These garments have a history behind them, and so disrespecting this part of Chinese culture was also obviously not well received. At number 7, Madonna. In the past, there have been many scandalous looks at the Met Gala. Oftentimes, we see celebrities push the boundaries of fashion, and sometimes their looks can be very revealing, but it looks like one celebrity went too far with how revealing their Met look was one year, and that person is Madonna. The singer is known to be pretty bold, but at the 2016 Met Gala, people think that she was a little too bold because her look revealed quite a lot. When she hit the red carpet, Madonna was seen wearing a black bodysuit that revealed her chest and backside, worn underneath a lace overlay. She also wore leather thigh-high boots and a bejeweled headband and layered necklaces. After facing backlash for the fact that her chest was exposed, she supported the look by saying that it was a political statement. She clapped back at the criticism on her Instagram where she said, quote, "We have fought and continue to fight for civil rights and gay rights around the world. When it comes to women's rights, we are still in the dark ages. My dress at the Met Ball was a political statement as well as a fashion statement. The fact that people actually believe a woman is not allowed to express her sexuality and be adventurous past a certain age is proof that we still live in an ageist and sexist society. I have never thought in a limited way and I'm not going to start." At number 6, Amal Clooney. As I mentioned a little earlier, a lot of times celebrities work alongside designers to achieve their looks for the Met Gala. The relationships that these stars have with their designers is pretty important for their careers, and so they usually don't want to jeopardize that. But Amal Clooney did in 2018, and she got some backlash for it. When Amal first showed up to the event, she was dressed in an ensemble by Richard Quinn that consisted of navy pants, a silver top, and a floral skirt. But after doing a quick change, she re-emerged wearing a dress designed by Tom Ford. Apparently, Tom was furious that Amal didn't wear his design when she did her initial red carpet walk. It caused some drama in the fashion world, but from what I understand, it's all water under the bridge now. At number 5, Rihanna. Rihanna is one of those stars who people really look forward to seeing walk the red carpet at the Met Gala. She rocks every look that she presents at the gala, but one year instead of getting praised for her outfit, she actually ended up getting a lot of backlash. In 2018, Rihanna showed up to the event wearing a very extravagant Pope-inspired look, and it did not go over well. The look was an ensemble by Margiela that consisted of a strapless mini dress, trench coat, and large headdress. That night, a lot of Catholics took issue with Rihanna's look, with some of them calling the ensemble, quote, sacrilegious, and saying that it appropriated their religion. Ironically, this isn't the first time that the singer has been accused of appropriating religion. She's also faced backlash for appropriating Hindu culture as well, as earlier this year she was seen wearing a necklace with a Hindu god depicted on it, and she's also faced scrutiny after she used a controversial song with Islamic verses in it in her Fenty show. At number 4, Scarlett Johansson. At the 2018 Met Gala, actress Scarlett Johansson caused a bit of controversy for the dress that she wore to the event. Not because of what it looked like, but because of who designed it. The actress wore an off-the-shoulder dress with flower embellishments, and though it was a beautiful gown, a lot of people couldn't get past who made the garment. The dress was designed by Georgia Chapman, Harvey Weinstein's ex-wife. Scarlett's look came from Georgia's brand Marchesa, and the actress became one of the first people to support the brand and the designer after the allegations against Harvey Weinstein came out. People were torn over this because some people believe that Scarlett shouldn't have supported Georgia's design because of her ties to Weinstein, but others thought that it was a bit ridiculous because Georgia was never personally involved in any of the allegations, so some people didn't really think it mattered. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. At number 3, James Charles. YouTuber and influencer James Charles attended the Met Gala in 2019 and got some backlash for what he wore and for being a bit of a hypocrite as well. When he arrived at the event, James was wearing an outfit by Alexander Wang that consisted of a black bandana, black cargo pants, and a see-through shirt that was made entirely of safety pins. It was an interesting look, but after the event, fashion critics pointed out that James' look was very similar to one that Zoe Kravitz had worn to the 2019 Vanity Fair Oscar party. Ironically, James had made a video with Tana Mongeau where they criticized that very look, where they said that it looked like, quote, she didn't finish getting dressed. end quote. As expected, James faced backlash for the comments that he made about Zoe's outfit and for also copying the look and being a hypocrite by wearing something so similar to another look that he roasted. At number 2, Kim Kardashian. Kim K is always trying to serve looks at the Met. I mean, this year's look was a little questionable with her all-black Balenciaga ensemble that made her look like a Dementor, but that's besides the point. Every look is subject to criticisms, but the one look that brought Kim the most backlash was her dripping wet look from the Met Gala in 2019. At the event, Kim was seen wearing a Mugler dress that made it look like she had just walked out of water, but she was also wearing a mega corset that cinched her waist so much that she faced backlash for it. Kim is often facing scrutiny for her support of waist trainers, with people saying that it's affecting the way that young people are seeing beauty, so her super cinched look just added to that fire. Fans said that Kim's body looked super unrealistic and it wasn't a good thing to show the public, but she and the designer defended the look, saying that the over-the-top nature of the entire ensemble was just made to fit the event's camp theme. And finally, at number 1, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The most buzz that has come out of the 2021 Met Gala is coming from New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. AOC showed up to the event wearing a white dress that had the words "Tax the Rich" written in red on the back. It was designed to be a political statement about the ongoing debate on whether the wealthiest people should be paying taxes like the rest of us peons, but instead of sparking the conversation about it, people are calling AOC a hypocrite for trying to make this statement at an event that is attended by Hollywood elites who pay 30 grand for a ticket. A lot of people may have takes on this, but what is yours? Do you think that AOC went about this statement all wrong, or was her bold move a good thing? I think that even though it's coming back to bite her, that bold move still accomplished something and it has people talking, so maybe it wasn't all bad. At number 10, Streaker. Like I mentioned before, the Met Gala is one of the most prestigious events of the year. Image is everything when it comes to the gala, and there's a lot of effort that's put into making sure that things go smoothly. So when there's any kind of hiccup, then things go south pretty quickly. Take for example one unruly quote-unquote guest who was not invited to the event, but who showed up anyway. At the 2014 Met Gala, everyone got quite the shock when a man wearing a hot pink mankini and gold chain ran through the event. He really tried to come in hot there, but since this was such a high-profile event, every precaution was taken and the man was stopped and barely even reached the red carpet. This event has so much security because you never know who's going to do what, so luckily there were enough staff to clue in to watch what was going on and stop it before things got too out of hand. This streaker, who remains unidentified, still got his 15 seconds of fame though, so I guess maybe he's happy enough with that experience. At number 9, the Kardashians. Apparently the Kardashians are banned from a lot of Hollywood events, like the Oscars for example, and for a while there, they were also unwelcome at the Met Gala. Though they are obviously welcome there now, that's only because they got the plug from Kanye. Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue, apparently had something against the Kardashians and even went so far as to call them the quote antithesis of fashion and class, end quote. Sassy. She allegedly banned them from attending the Met for years, and being a prominent trustee and financial holder at the Metropolitan Museum of Art where the function is held, her ruling stuck, at least until Kanye came into the picture. Apparently Anna and Kanye are very good pals, so once Kanye came into the Kardashian family, Anna couldn't refuse him, and so she allowed the Kardashians entry. Some thought that since Kanye and Kim aren't together anymore, that Anna would take back the Kardashians' invitation, but I guess maybe they've entered into Anna's good graces since then. Now before I carry on talking about these celebrity scandals, I would like to first take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, because it really helps the channel out. At number 8, cultural appropriation. Every year the Met Gala has a chosen theme, and the people who attend the event are urged to show up in some kind of couture that fits said theme. For a lot of celebrities, they work alongside some pretty prestigious designers to come up with the perfect look for the gala, but sometimes they can go too far and end up offending people in the process. Take for example some of the Met Gala looks from 2015. The theme of the gala that year was quote, China through the looking glass, and a lot of people found that many of the stars who attended the event that night were appropriating Chinese culture. Many fans took to the internet to criticize a lot of the looks from that night, saying that too many of them fell into Chinese stereotypes and appropriated much of the culture and history. Among one of the most heavily criticized celebrity looks was Sarah Jessica Parker's headpiece, which was criticized for its quote, dragon lady stereotype. A lot of fans made the point that these celebrities could have just worn pieces from Chinese designers to fit the theme rather than appropriate the culture. At number 7, influencers. The Met Gala is such a high-profile event that you have to be personally invited in order to attend. Well, I mean, you have to be invited and pay roughly 30 grand to attend, but it's still a very prestigious event. Or at least that's what people used to think about it anyway, because there are those who say that in recent years the exclusivity of the Met Gala has really decreased ever since influencers have started getting invited to the event. In recent years, influencers like Liza Koshy and James Charles have been in attendance, and at this year's gala, social media stars like Addison Rae, Dixie D'Amelio, and Madison Beer walked the red carpet at the Met. A lot of people don't consider these internet personalities and influencers as celebrities, and so they don't see them as welcome at huge Hollywood events like this. But what is your take on this? Do you think that internet celebrities should be welcome at events like these? And if not, where do we draw the line on who can and can't come? Is the question of how did you get famous going to become a criteria for events like these? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. At number 6, Naked Box Man. Basically every year at the Met Gala, bold fashion statements are being made. We have people dressing like Dementors, like Kim K did at the event this year, we have people wearing political statements on their clothes, and they even have people bringing insane props with them on the red carpet. But back in 2017, one person made too bold a statement and actually got kicked out of the event because of it. An artist by the name of Fyodor Pavlov Andreevich was going to attend the Met and decided to be extra bold with his quote-unquote look and decided to get naked and stuffed in a fiberglass box. Upon arriving at the event, 2 people carried the artist inside the box into the event's checkpoint, and that's really as far as they got there. One of the guards told them that they had to take the artist away, and they later put a sheet over the box and dragged him away while he was still in the box. Authorities were soon called and the police asked the artist to exit the box, to which he refused, so they arrested him, charged him, and threw him in jail. Really, the takeaway from this is don't be too bold at the Met, and most importantly, wear clothes. It is a fashion event. You can't go to a fashion event without the fashion part. At number 5, Tina Fey. The Met Gala isn't for everyone, and that's okay. Not everyone has to be into the whole idea of wearing funky clothes while walking around with other high-profile celebrities. One person who really isn't into all that, it seems, is Tina Fey, because she once had some harsh words for the event. Tina was invited to the Met Gala back in 2010, but apparently she didn't have a very good time. 5 years later, she opened up about the experience while doing an interview with David Letterman. In the interview, Tina ranted about the gala, calling it a quote, jerk parade. She also went on to say, quote, every jerk from every walk of life is there wearing some stupid thing. It's just everybody. If you had a million arms, it's all the people you would punch in the whole world, end quote. It's a little harsh, but I guess it's kind of valid. At number 4, Lena Dunham. Celebrity beefs are nothing new. Everyone has beef with everyone, but it turns out that at one point a celebrity feud happened at the Met Gala, and it caused some controversy and scandal at the time. At the Met Gala in 2016, Lena Dunham ended up making some comments about Odell Beckham Jr. and it caused a bit of a stir. Dunham alleged that the football player spent the whole evening ignoring her because she, quote, didn't fit his standard of woman, end quote. Speaking out about the way that she believed she was being treated by Odell, Lena went on to say, quote, it was so amazing because it looked like he looked at me and he determined I was not the shape of a woman by his standards. It was like we were forced to be together and he was literally scrolling Instagram rather than to have to look at a woman in a bow tie. I was like, this should be called the Metropolitan Museum of Getting Rejected by Athletes, end quote. But none of that was actually true though. Odell wasn't trying to be rude, he was just kind of existing while at the event, and Lena just made assumptions. She got called out for her quote, narcissistic comments and later issued an apology for them. At number 3, Demi Lovato. Speaking of beefing with celebrities, we have another story about some drama that caused someone so much discomfort that they literally had to leave the Met. Back in 2016, Demi Lovato was in attendance at the Met Gala, but they didn't end up staying for the whole event. Demi spoke out about how uncomfortable they were that evening, saying that someone was so rude to them that they had to leave the gala and go to an AA meeting. Demi told sources that, quote, this one celebrity was a complete B-word and was miserable to be around. It was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink, end quote. Now, no one knows for sure who this B-word that Demi was talking about was, but a lot of people seem to believe that it was Nicki Minaj because of a photo that was posted that shows Demi giving Nicki some serious side-eye. There was clearly some kind of drama going on, but other than how Demi was feeling, we don't have many other details as to what happened that night. At number 2, smoking. In most establishments, there's a rule against smoking. I mean, back in the day, apparently you could just smoke everywhere and anywhere, but not these days. That rule isn't really anything new, but there are still those select few who choose to disregard that and do it anyway. This is how a scandal was caused at the Met Gala in 2017. A handful of celebrities who attended the gala that year were caught smoking in the venue's bathroom, and that was a serious no-no. Every year, the Met Gala is held at the Metropolitan Museum, and since it's in New York, the city health department has a rule against smoking in specific areas as per their Health Act. But it seems that although this rule was still in effect at the time of the gala, some celebrities were like nah and had a couple ciggies inside regardless. The stars in question were posting their little rendezvous on social media, which is how they got caught and got into some trouble for it as well. As a result of their rule breaking, the gala as well as the health department put measures in place to make sure that this kind of thing never happened again so that no one would get fined. And finally, at number 1, Solange Knowles. The famous Solange versus Jay-Z elevator battle is one of those moments that will go down in history as one of the messiest celebrity moments. It was a lot to take in at the time because no one knew what was really going on or why this Avenger-style battle was even happening. The freakout slash fight slash battle to the death took place at the 2014 Met Gala, and though it took place so long ago, there still was never really any solid explanation for this scandal. Some speculate that it was because of a cheating scandal, others thought it could be money, but really there is no confirmed reason as to why the fight broke out. All we have to analyze from this is surveillance footage that was leaked to the internet that got this whole drama started. In the footage, we see Solange and Jay-Z begin what looked like a verbal disagreement, which then turned physical. My guess is that Solange was standing up for her sister and sort of flipped out on the rapper, and this, like I said, sparked cheating rumors, and then this then folded into Beyonce and Jay-Z's music, where again, infidelity was hinted at. Bottom line here is that this fight was explosive and caused a lot of drama.
Number 10, Jared Leto. Kicking off our list is the master of surprises himself. Just ask his former DC co-stars. This year's red carpet was full of more than just fashion malfunctions and cockroaches. A gigantic fluffy white cat began strutting its stuff as the cameras flashed, walking up to celebrities and snapping selfies with some extremely confused reactions. After a while, concern was certainly growing over the crowd. Who was this man in this suit? What did he want? Well, it turned out that it was Jared Leto, and he wanted to steal the show. Leto wore this suit inspired by Karl Lagerfeld's feline companion Chopin. It was certainly a memorable moment for those involved, especially when Leto removed the helmet to reveal himself to the crowd, who instinctively applauded and praised him for his costume choice. A man named Joshua Bolster was tasked with creating the cat suit and says that it was a roller coaster of a task. This coming from the same man who's worked on the creation of costumes in movies for Marvel, Star Wars, and on several other Disney properties. Now, we don't know if he felt proud of this accomplishment or if he just wants to pretend that he had nothing to do with it. All I know is if I saw this walking towards me in any situation, I'd grab a spray bottle. Number 9, Olivia Wilde. The actor-director attended this year's Met Gala in style, basing her dress on an original design from Karl Lagerfeld in 1983, and she looked absolutely stunning in her dress. But so did Margaret Zhang, who was a writer and model and editor-in-chief of Vogue China. The pair were seen separately on the red carpet, but wearing the same dress in just different styles, like they were part of some kind of a little league team or something. They were wearing a Chloe frock based on a 1940s line of Lagerfeld's night-themed designs called a Line of Beauty. While completely unplanned, the two did eventually cross paths, giving each other the eye up and down before Wilde commented that great minds think alike. She playing this off as a playful mishap. Both outfits were stunning in their own right, with Olivia having a more classic white gown look and Margaret wearing a more modern black style with gold inlays. Apparently this is the first time in history that two people have ever worn the same outfit to a Met Gala, but has nobody ever just shown up in like a suit and tie to any of these? And I do mean just like a normal suit and tie, not one with like metal arms or something. Number 8, skippers. It wasn't just the people on the red carpet that were making waves this week, as several celebrities were planning to skip the event entirely. Many celebrities reportedly turned in their invitations as won't be attending this year for an unknown number of reasons. This included stars like Ariana Grande, Bella Hadid, Timothy Chalamet, and almost Rihanna, but she eventually made it out. This left many people wondering what the cause of these absences really were. The cause may simply be that they had better things to do. Blake Lively reported just days before the fashion show that herself and husband Ryan Reynolds Reynolds wouldn't be attending and that they had to handle some soccer business over the pond. Alright, I guess that's a priority for you guys. Zendaya also skipped, and with no explanation, which was odd considering just how anticipated her appearance would be after making waves with her Cinderella-inspired dress at the gala back in 2019. With low celebrity attendance growing and public interest slowly diminishing, we have to wonder just when will the celebs finally give up and walk the red carpet in jeans and a hoodie the Adam Sandler way. Number 7. Kendall Jenner. Kendall is the first of 2 Kardashian-Jenner children kids on this list. The model and social media influencer stole the show on the red carpet this year for reasons. While her dress is very much inspired by Lagerfeld's designs, specifically his swimwear collection, she decided to go with a no-pants, long cape look this year, appearing on the red carpet like a supervillain pulled straight from a 60s comic ready to defeat the X-Men. Over the years, Kendall has been a regular at these galas and has kept her outfits pretty extravagant but tasteful, even being able to make bright orange see-through dresses drenched in feathers look good. This time around, it feels like she was attempting to pay tribute to Carl, but she might have overdone it. Number 6. Lil Nas X. Lil Nas is a professional rapper, singer, and songwriter. Now, while Nas has been seen wearing outlandish outfits all the time, whether it be on stage or at home, it wasn't until this year's Met Gala that we really got to see just how eccentric he can be, after he appeared on the red carpet decked out as what can only be described as a pretty kitty. Covered in a silver body paint and jewelry, Nas was wearing almost no clothing, meaning that all the jewels and paint and fake teeth that you see in this picture were directly attached to him. He was seen parading around the carpet, acting like a cat and getting up close and personal with cameras, giving us an up-close look at his ensemble. While the Met Gala is a fashion show, this simply comes across as an attention grab. He's not wearing someone's design, and not wearing someone's design is kind of against the entire idea of the Met Gala. And yes, someone had to design the outfit he's wearing, but I don't think it would be easy to pick that up off of a clothing hanger and put it on. Number 5. Alexa Chung. British TV and internet personality Alexa Chung made waves this year when she appeared on the red carpet wearing a dress inspired by Magdalen Laundries in Ireland. Now, I know, why is this a fail? What is Magdalen Laundries? Well, Magdalen is an asylum which operated from the 18th century to the 20th century. The house was for fallen women, you can Google what that means, and it housed an estimated 30,000 patients in its time. However, the revelation of 155 unmarked graves on that site sparked media attention and brought to light the institution's shady underbelly. Now, why anyone would wear a dress inspired by this incident is mind-boggling. Now, making light of a tragedy is already bad enough, but Chung must have spent thousands of dollars on that dress, and whether it was meant to make light or draw the attention to the issue, at the end of the day, she just kind of looks like a wad of used tissues. Ugh. Number 4. Kim's pearls. The second Kardashian clan member on this list is Kim. Kim Kardashian has been attending the Met Galas with her family for years and has always stunned the crowd with her stylish ensembles. Well, this year Kim went for a tasteful gown, which consisted of a draped skirt and a top made from more than 50,000 freshwater pearls and 16,000 crystal pearls. Ugh. And it apparently took dozens of artisans thousands of hours to craft this dress. How could she not steal the show? Well, throughout the night, you can see Kim trying to walk in as many little steps as possible so that she doesn't break the dress. She was, however, unsuccessful in doing this, as towards the end of the night, pearls were seen slowly falling off one by one from the dress. Thankfully, this was happening as she was making her way out of the event, but Lord only knows how long those beads held together for. Number 3. Anne Hathaway. Fashion was the passion at this year's Met Gala, showcased by some truly extravagant and outlandish outfits inspired by late creative director of Chanel, Karl Lagerfeld. Hathaway took this seriously, appearing to be wearing a tweed dress held together by various gold safety pins. She further accessorized with a matching tweed opera gloves, white platform pumps, and a diamond choker by Bulgari. While I'm sure this design was inspired and is probably going to be considered iconic in the near future, the look left many people reminiscing about her role in the musical Les Miserables, comparing the outfit to the garb that's commonly worn by her character Fantine, a disheveled cloth being held together by rope and sheer will. Hathaway has always been a staple on the Met Gala carpet, but this year, she's a safety pin. God, I hate myself. Number 2. The Roach. This year's Met Gala may have been lacking in celebrity attendance, but it certainly had a solid number of insect attendees. The star of this year's red carpet was not a Catman or an X-Men villain, it was a little cockroach. The cockroach in question, let's call him Glenn for fun, Glenn was spotted by a cameraman during the red carpet's opening ceremony, strutting his stuff and showing the world who's boss. The cameras zoom in on Glenn and give him a nice moment to shine on the little screen, being viewed by millions of people around the world. And many people probably wish that there was at least a brief warning before they just zoomed in on a cockroach. Like, no offense, Glenn, but this was a nasty sight for anyone suffering from Catsariadophobia. It's a fear of cockroaches. If there's a warning that flashes on screen for people when it's about to be bright, or if there's a flashing light, then why not at least say, hey, look, a huge cockroach, let's zoom in on that thing. Number 1. Calm before the storm. As mentioned previously in the list, a large portion of attendees declined to appear at this year's Met Gala. And while there was seemingly no specific reason for this to happen, we might have figured it out. On Tuesday, May 2nd, the Writers Guild of America called on its 11,500 members to go on strike. By the afternoon, many picket lines had begun to form outside of major studios, causing massive block-ups on filming and setups for shoots. Now, while this is news to many of us, Hollywood has had this information for weeks, which more than likely attributed to the attendance numbers. Many people were not sure if they would have work next week, or when the work might start back up should the strike take place. This was of no concern for the guests attending that night, but they must have been a little nervous, right? This year's Met Gala just kind of felt like people putting on a tough face and hiding behind their looks to get through the night. At least that's my opinion.
Number 10. The cockroach. The unexpected star of the night was oddly enough a cockroach, which found its way into the star-studded night. Not only did the little bug get to walk the red carpet, but it also got its own photographer. The cockroach snuck into the event without a $30,000 ticket and completely stole the show. In a clip that is now viral on Twitter, it shows the cockroach scurrying away from a photographer and really seemed to push its luck. Fans watched from the side, and it wasn't long before the whole thing became a meme. On Twitter, a user wrote, "Who was it wearing?" and another added, "I'm rooting for the roach." Some Twitter users took a different approach and compared the bug to other celebrities. One wrote, "Are you sure this isn't Anna Wintour?" And another added, "Kanye really went all out this year," with one Twitter user even suggesting that the bug could be Karl Lagerfeld reincarnated and attending the event that is in his honor. Number 9, we have Jared Leto as a cat. Jared Leto is an icon when it comes to the out-of-the-box ideas for his Met Gala looks, and this year did not disappoint. The star rolled up in a full-on life-size cat costume, and it was definitely a shock and surprise to onlookers. With no one really knowing who it was at first, he took to the red carpet, honestly looking pretty adorable. The look was for the late fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld's cat, who he famously loved. Reportedly, Karl loved the cat so much that he is rumored to have left his whole fortune to it, which is approximately $300 million. As Jared, as the cat, took to the red carpet, he waved to the cameras with his paws and then removed his cat head to reveal who he was, which fans and his fellow celebrities really did love. Fans took to Twitter with one user writing, "Of course it had to be Jared Leto," and another added, "Honestly, Jared Leto under the catsuit was the most logical answer." When asked why the cat, Jared told Entertainment Tonight, "I knew Karl. He was always such a kind man to me. I could just imagine him looking down with a big smile on his face, seeing his choupette in all its glory." Jared really was trying to channel his inner Karl and love for his cat, as he is set up to play Karl in an upcoming biopic. When talking about the biopic, he shared, "I feel like this is a full circle moment, and Karl will be proud of what we're doing." Going on to say, Karl was an artist, period. He was a fashion designer, he was a photographer, there was no defining him. He was a creative powerhouse. After that loving tribute that really made the crowd laugh though, it looks like not only could he play Karl in the film, but also Choupette. Number 8, we have Doja Cat vaping. Another star who decided to channel Karl's cat was Doja Cat. But not only that, but as dressed as a cat, she was caught vaping, and fans were honestly pretty shocked. The
This was Doja's first appearance at the Met Gala, and though most stars are typically on their best behavior, the rapper didn't really seem to care. There are certain rules in the Met Gala that Anna Wintour really stands by, and one of those rules are no selfies and no smoking. The no smoking rule was added in 2017 after Bella Hadid, Dakota Johnson, and Marc Jacobs were all spotted smoking in the bathroom, and had to be reminded of the rule of no smoking in a museum. Looks like Doja Cat really didn't get the memo though. While some loved that she looked so comfortable and relatable, others speculated that this would be her first and last Met Gala appearance because of this. One Twitter user wrote, "I feel like Doja knows she's on camera and is aware of people picking up on what she's doing. I don't think it's funny." Another added, "Okay, not to be a hater, but can't people just leave the vape at home? At least for like a couple hours. Or at least until you get home." Doja Cat has yet to say anything about getting caught vaping, but fans aren't too happy. What do you guys think about this Doja Cat moment? Number 7, acting like a cat. Okay, so not only was Doja dressed as a cat with prosthetic makeup to even achieve the look, but she also acted like one too. Emma Chamberlain really embodied the word patience when she interviewed the rapper for Vogue on the red carpet. Doja took a pretty interesting approach and began embodying a cat during the whole of the interview. When Emma asked her about her look for the event, Doja responded by just saying meow. Emma didn't give up though and replied by saying, "Wow, okay, so something a little different. So what was your inspiration for tonight? Be honest with me, go into detail." Doja didn't stop though and kept meowing. As Emma kept trying with different questions, Doja kept up the cat persona and meowed to the Vogue reporter. It wasn't long before Emma ended up just laughing a bit before covering her mouth, and honestly fair enough. At number 6, we have Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson reunite. The couple that no one saw coming and that many were actually pretty sad that ended is Kim and Pete. The former couple ended up reuniting at the gala and looked to have a pretty lively conversation with Usher joining in. The trio was caught by photographers and the whole thing seemed pretty amicable. Pete and Kim both broke it off after 9 months together in August, and they actually went together to the Met Gala just last year, so all eyes were on them at the big event as they reunited at the star-studded Met Gala. Though some fans are convinced that the pair are just friends, others are saying that the 2022 vibes are very real. One photo captured from the night shows Pete lovingly looking at Kim. Could there be a possible rekindling in their relationship? Though the SNL star is said to be dating Chase Wonders at the moment, it won't stop some fans from hoping. Number 6, no Blake Lively. Where was the queen of the Met last night? Looks like the star snubbed the event to the disappointment of her fans. Blake, who is now a mother of 4, seemed to just be a bit too busy this year to attend the event that she really is the best at. At the reopening of the Tiffany & Co. 5th Avenue, New York City, Blake was asked if we'll see her at this year's gala. She answered by saying, "You will not, but I will be watching." The reporters went on to compliment her previous looks, to what she responded by saying, "Thank you, that's very sweet, I'll be wearing that on my couch on Monday." This was truly the worst news to Blake's fans, who always look out for the star and her husband, who steal the show year after year. But with parenting and supporting Ryan Reynolds' soccer team, which he co-owns, it looks like the couple was far too busy to make it. Number 4, Rihanna running late. Another true icon of the Met is Rihanna herself. You can always count on Rihanna to bring it year after year, but this year she left fans and spectators wondering where she was. With even the cockroach arriving first, it made other onlookers nervous as to if she was going to be a no-show. But the star made it and arrived fashionably late. About 4 hours after the red carpet walks really started, Rihanna and her partner A$AP Rocky made their long-anticipated appearance, and it really was a dramatic one. The star wore a massive white gown with a dramatic hood covered with camellia blossoms, which is part of Chanel's signature flower. Not only that, but she paid respects to Carl's beloved cat as well and wore a pair of white cat eye sunglasses, which were embellished with fake eyelashes. Really, the whole thing was pretty iconic, even if she did fail to walk on the red carpet at all. Number 3, we have Olivia and Margaret matching. Guess Olivia Wilde and Margaret Sang really had the same idea last night in terms of outfits, and it really was a red carpet nightmare. Olivia was spotted wearing the same dress last night as Margaret, the editor-in-chief of Vogue China, and Twitter lost it. Of course, the women both thought their choice was going to be a unique one. They both decided to wear a vintage-inspired Chloe dress, which is based on 1983 Karl Lagerfeld, and they ended up twinning. Olivia opted for a long white version of the dress with side cutouts, a turtleneck neckline, and a gold embellishment in the front, and Margaret wore the exact same thing but in black. As photos and clips started to emerge of the ladies on the red carpet, one Twitter user wrote, "The biggest yikes ever." Another added, "Oof, everybody's worst fears." Unfortunately for the stars, it really only got worse when social media users began turning this embarrassing moment into a meme. Do you remember when the photo of the dress was going around with everyone questioning, is it blue and black or is it white and gold? Well, with Margaret's iconic blue hair, people saw them as radiating the same energy. We have to ask, who do you think wore it best? Number 2, the side-eye. Okay, so it was a pretty quick moment, but it still made fans laugh that it was even caught on camera at all. Cardi B, who stuck with this year's theme, really killed it on the red carpet. In her first look, she channeled Carl and wore a gown with large camellia flowers. When talking about her outfit, she said, "The texture of this skirt is like a Chanel boy bag. Then you got the flowers, the camellia flower." Going on to say, when you get a Chanel purse, it always has a little white flower. But you know, this one is black. Then on top here, it's giving Carl, so I'm representing the house of Chanel and Carl at the same time. Her next look was a bejeweled pink dress with a matching tulle headpiece, which was really the biggest look of her night. But during another interview with Vogue, she appeared to be a little over it. While holding up the microphone, she takes a look at the Vogue reporter, then looks back at the camera, looking to give a little bit of a side eye. Who really knows why, but regardless, it was still a funny moment to be caught on camera. And finally, at number 1, we have forgetting names. Aubrey Plaza really knows how to grab the audience attention, and the Met Gala was no exception. The White Lotus star wore a tight-fit Stella McCartney gown on the red carpet, along with some dangly earrings and an over-the-elbow black gloves. The whole thing was really pretty elegant and right on theme. But after an incredibly awkward interview, the cringiness seemed to steal the show. During an interview with Stella McCartney and Madeline Klein, the interviewer Chloe Feynman clearly didn't know who Aubrey Plaza was. Chloe introduces the woman, and when she gets to Aubrey, she calls her Audrey and passes her the microphone to say her last name. Aubrey ends up saying Snutburn flatly, which is an Audrey Hepburn reference. It really only gets more awkward from there though. After Chloe goes on with the interview, asking Aubrey what she's wearing, she ends up unfortunately mispronouncing Stella's last name. Chloe starts to laugh at her mistake before Stella ends up leaning in and saying, "Are you even taking this seriously?" To which Chloe responds by, "I am." Stella then says, "I don't think you are." Chloe stops laughing and says, "No, I am, I'm sorry." While all this is happening, Aubrey shakes her shoulders and is smiling, looking to kind of love the whole awkward moment. As the clip is circulating Twitter, one user wrote, "This was so uncomfortable for no reason." Others just commented how their secondhand embarrassment really just can't handle it, and I have to agree. Another added, "Wait, what? Who doesn't know who Aubrey is? Please be serious." If you haven't seen this very uncomfortable moment, please do and let us know what you thought about this whole thing.
And at number 10, Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner shocked fans with this strange laid-back look that was definitely not on theme for the 2022 Met. At first, fans thought the look could be a joke until Kylie made her way down the red carpet in a white wedding-style dress. Kylie wore a white ruffled floor-length gown for fashion's biggest night of the year. She also wore a white backwards baseball cap complete with fishnet veil. And the sweetheart cut out of the dress was worn with a mesh t-shirt over it with the off-white logo branded on it. At first, people thought this could be a hint that Kylie is married, but then Kylie described that she was supposed to go to the 2020 Met with the late Virgil Abloh before he passed away. The gown didn't seem to tie in with the gilded glamour dress code, but it apparently honored the Met's exhibit inside the event, which explores American fashion. Vogue explained the look, saying, quote, "By wearing a wedding gown to the Met and making it youthful, graphic, and wholly unexpected, Jenner channeled the irreverent spirit that Abloh perfected throughout his career. It was a classy tribute to one of the greatest American talents in fashion." And at number 9, Kourtney Kardashian. 2022 was the first year that sisters Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian attended the Met, and most people are very underwhelmed with both of their outfits. Thankfully for Khloe, she showed up on theme, however Kourtney and her fiancé Travis Barker did not. Even worse, when they were asked about the theme, it was clear they did not care at all about following it. The 2022 theme was an American anthology of fashion, or as Vogue put it, gilded glamour and white tie. During an interview with Lala Anthony, Kourtney described that the couple's outfit was by Thom Browne, adding, quote, "I'm basically like a deconstructed version of his outfit." But the backlash came after Lala asked Kourtney what she thought of the theme that night. Kourtney replied, quote, "I honestly didn't really think about it," she said while laughing and turning towards Travis, quote, "But yeah, I feel like Travis is like it, and then mine's like falling, like dripping off him." Maybe that's the reason she hasn't been invited in the past. And at number 8, Karlie Kloss. One of the worst Met Gala flops was by Karlie Kloss, who not only did not follow the theme, but looked very underwhelming in general. In 2019, the Met Gala theme was Camp Notes on Fashion, and the basis for the theme was derived from Susan Sontag's 1964 essay Notes on Camp, describing camp as having elements of irony, humor, parody, theatricality, and exaggeration that are expressed in fashion. So basically going all out and being very theatrical. Karlie Kloss clearly did not listen to this theme, as she showed up in a basic gold dress that was not on par for the theme or event in general. Kloss was then dragged online with people tweeting, quote, "Poor Karlie Kloss thought camp meant the boy-girl formal at summer camp." And others said, Karlie Kloss mistook the Met Gala for the TGI Fridays after prom. In at number 7, Kim Kardashian. After the 2021 Met Gala, all anyone could talk about was Kim Kardashian's strange look. That year she wore a Balenciaga t-shirt dress and a baklava ensemble where the theme was, In America, a Lexicon of Fashion, which celebrated America's independence. Kim was head to toe covered in black fabric. The only way she was distinguishable was from the shape of her body. Not only was the look criticized for not being on theme, it was also seen as disrespectful to some cultures, with one writer claiming it was similar to a burqa, which is what Muslim women wear to cover their faces. Even though many fans thought she didn't follow the theme, Kardashian felt very differently. In an Instagram caption about the look, Kim said, quote, "What's more American than a t-shirt head to toe?" In at number 6, Sarah Jessica Parker. Even though SJP has been vocal against those who don't take the effort to follow the Met Gala theme each year, she was called out in 2016 for the exact same thing. That year the theme was Menace Ex Machina, Fashion in an Age of Technology, and what Parker wore had basically nothing to do with technology. It was more so giving old school Renaissance vibes. That year Parker made it on the list of least on theme Met Gala looks, but Parker was happy with her choice and defended her outfit. She told the New York Times Style magazine, quote, "We didn't want to simply apply lights and actual physical technology on me. We wanted it to be about the technology of thought, of application, of fabrication, the technology of the hand and the machine, essentially how technology is used to make the clothing." Although most people didn't think this made any sense. Also, her look was just incredibly simple, something that could have been worn to a dinner with friends. Halfway, number 5, Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith wore a special accessory to the 2017 Met Gala, and it was widely memed by people online. That year the theme was Comme des Garçons, Art of the In-Between. Smith wore a relatively simple all-black Louis Vuitton outfit, and to spice it up, he brought a handful of his own dreadlocks and carried it around like it was a handbag. One article trashed the choice, saying that carrying around his hair all night had nothing to do with the theme of the Met, and they couldn't understand why he made that choice. While on the carpet, Smith shared his thoughts behind the choice. He said it was aiming for a Dracula or Matrix look, and since his sister Willow couldn't come with him, he decided to bring his old hair instead. Not sure how that makes any sense. The look was also memed by Fader. The publication wrote, quote, "When you finally emerge from your existential crisis." In at number 4, Blake Lively. Although Blake looked beautiful at the 2016 Met, she was painfully not on theme. She wore a strapless Burberry gown that she apparently had a hand in designing. The dress was a soft pink with a sweetheart neckline and had red flowers coming out of it. The dress would have been perfect for almost any other red carpet other than that year's Met. That year the theme was Menace Ex Machina, Fashion in an Age of Technology, and her look did not have anything to do with technology. According to In Style, quote, "This strapless Burberry gown didn't immediately recall anything about tech and fashion, fitting with the night's theme." Entertainment Weekly also agreed with the outlet, ranking Lively's outfit along with Sarah Jessica Parker as one of the least on theme. Since Blake is usually on theme and looks stunning, we have hope she will learn her lesson for the next time. In at number 3, Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus completely disregarded the theme at the 2015 Met Gala and was definitely called out for it. To celebrate the Met's new Asian exhibit, the 2015 Met Gala theme was China Through the Looking Glass. Many fans felt it was a great theme and could be translated into so many amazing gowns for the Met. But Miley Cyrus clearly did not get the memo and showed up wearing a black head-to-toe gown with copper studs on it. The dress also had the sides cut out to make it more sultry. Hollywood Life and Style reported that her look was a mix between space age and grunge fashion. The look had zero nods to China and looked like it could have been worn to any other red carpet. It looked like the outfit was inspired by Madonna more so than China. Complex trashed the piece, saying it would have been more fitting 2 years prior when the theme was Punk Chaos of Culture. In at number 2, Sebastian Stan. Sebastian Stan definitely stood out at the Met, but he was not in theme whatsoever. The Pam and Tommy star wore a neon pink long sleeve shirt, oversized bomber jacket, and slouchy pants with matching sneakers, all designed by Valentino. It was nice that he wore more than a basic black suit, but the bright pink seemed to have nothing to do with the gilded glamour white tie dress code. Vogue insiders clarified the gilded glamour refers to the period of the Gilded Age of New York between 1870 and 1890. during which the upper class had more is more approach to fashion, in part because technological developments made it easier to buy more clothes than ever before. This can be interpreted as simply going over the top, which Stan did, but a silver or gold look would have made way more sense. And finally at number 1, Irina Shayk. Irina Shayk might have been my worst dressed of the night. Not only did she look horrible, she was not on theme whatsoever. In 2022, to the prestigious event, Irina decided to wear a layered leather biker outfit. The head-to-toe leather did not signify gilded glamour at all, and looked more like she belonged in a biker gang. While their models opted for glittery gowns to honor the theme, the 36-year-old model layered a Burberry black leather jacket, shirt, tie, trousers, gloves, and boots. The only thing that looked even a little bit on theme was a black leather corset, which was worn under the jacket. All in all, it was a flop in my eyes.
Number 10, Meryl Streep. The iconic and one of the most beloved stars in Hollywood, Meryl Streep has actually never been to the Met Gala. Likely due to her track record, I doubt the invites have kept coming every year. Although she's a regular at award shows and routinely makes appearances at the Academy Awards and Grammys, she has never graced the red carpet at Anna Wintour's event. That isn't exactly all that surprising, however, because outside of award shows, she's only ever really made appearances to promote a film or television series that she started. Meryl Streep keeps a notoriously private life and prefers to spend the rest of her time out of the limelight, so it seems like an event that celebrates fashion rather than something that would have been seen as a work event would be deemed as unnecessary by her. Number 9, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. It cannot be argued that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith aren't famous enough to walk the stairs at the Met Gala, so why then have they never been? It's apparent that they love the limelight given how often they're in the news and how controversial they are as a pair. Their children, Willow Smith and Jaden Smith, have attended, however, none of the family members attended this year. I would absolutely not be surprised if Anna Wintour, the creator of the event and notoriously strict personality, deliberately did not extend an invitation towards the family after Will's embarrassing Oscars fiasco this year. Anna Wintour is the real-life person behind Meryl Streep's iconic character in The Devil Wears Prada, so it's no surprise that she would want absolutely zero nonsense on her stage, and she may have sided with the Academy in this scenario. Likely though, even if the Met Gala had extended invitations to the family, I doubt they would have attended, as Will Smith has kept an extremely low profile since he slapped Chris Rock. He hasn't even posted to any of his social media since it happened, outside of the apology to Chris that seems to have gone unheard. Number 8, Paris Hilton. I was absolutely shocked when I found out that Paris Hilton has never attended the Met Gala. She is the OG socialite. The Kardashians wish they were her. So why has she not been to the massive event that celebrates one of her favorite things, fashion? While I sadly do not have the answer to that question, I think, safely assume that it's because she hasn't been invited. I mean, I am pretty well sure that if she had been invited, she definitely would have attended. I mean, she is a socialite after all. It's not that she's not relevant either. Although she did kind of stay out of the news for a few years, she's back and better than ever, making headlines with her new television show Cooking with Paris. I wonder why Anna has never invited her, despite inviting basically everyone from the Kardashian family this year. Number 7, Dolly Parton. God, what I would give to see Dolly Parton at the Met Gala. You just know that she would serve so hard. But alas, Dolly has never been to the Met Gala, and not for a lack of want either. She simply just hasn't been invited, which is so weird to me. She's obviously an A-list celebrity, one of the nicest people ever, so why has this legend with an extremely active career, one who is known for making insane statements with her outfits, not been to the fashion celebration event everyone loves to hate? I mean, come on, especially with Gilded Age as the theme. She would have brought fringe and sparkles and opulence all in one in a way that I know she is so capable of. She could, however, not want to go too, I guess, given how gaudy and self-serving the Met Gala also is. She isn't really one to be all look at me like some other celebrities are, so that could be a reason, but I do wish she would go if only to wipe the floor with other celebs that just show up in like a suit or whatever. Number 6, Britney Spears. Now this one I was a little surprised about. Britney has never been to the Met Gala, and honestly I think that may have had to do more with the controlling conservatorship she was under with her father. I doubt he would have allowed her to such a big event given how cutthroat he was in controlling every aspect of her life. But now that it has officially ended, you'd think that this would finally be the year for the pop icon to make her Met debut. Alas, she sadly did not show up, and honestly I think that may have to do more with her insanely busy schedule. Working full-time in Las Vegas at her residency, being engaged, and caring for her children, Britney has an insanely busy lifestyle. Her workload is non-stop. I mean, just looking at her Instagram makes me exhausted. Number 5, Donald Trump. Now while there are some pretty obvious reasons why Donald Trump will never be invited back to the Met Gala, including with how controversial he is as a past president, Anna herself has confirmed that she will never invite him back to her event. One such reason is that he clearly broke broke one of her very strict rules while attending the Met Gala. Back in 2004, before he was the president, was instead just a television show host and socialite, Trump walked the Met Gala stairs with his then girlfriend Melania. He'd attended the party many times, but in 2004, he took the opportunity to be in front of a ton of cameras and proposed to Melania on the spot. He held up a 13-carat diamond ring worth more than $3 million, although he quickly informed everyone that he got it for half price. I don't know why you would say that. Anna Wintour does not allow such blatant tackiness at her events, instead upholding it to strict opulence and fashion expression. To take the spotlight like that must not have gone over well. That being said, I am eating my words a bit because he and Melania would go on to attend the gala up until 2012, when he was no longer invited. I can kind of smell a bit of going with the crowd from Anna here. While I ardently disagree with Trump's policies, I also disagree with being a yellow belly, and I think once Trump became too controversial is when he was no longer allowed to the event, despite being friends with Anna in the past. Number 4, Helena Bonham Carter. Helena Bonham Carter is the absolute queen of punk-influenced fashion, but she revealed on the Graham Norton show that she has never been invited to the Met Gala. I mean, can you imagine the power she would have held when the theme was punk chaos to culture in 2013? I am forever saddened that she didn't get to present her insane style on the carpet there. But I think honestly, I'm starting to see a trend as I was writing the script of celebrities not being invited who are known for their crazy wardrobes. I mean, Kim Kardashian wore the literal dress of Marilyn Monroe that shook the world when she looked naked except for being covered in diamonds, and it just kind of looked bland on the Kardashian. Helena Bonham Carter has a unique style, and even Rihanna hinted that her fashion may have something to do with why she's never been invited. While on the Graham Norton show episode that revealed she'd never been invited, Rihanna was also guest starring and quipped in a friendly and playful manner, quote, "That's because you wear dresses like that," and pointed to the actress's funky colored look. Number 3, Tina Fey. The comedian and actress has been to the Met Gala before, but definitely wasn't invited back after she gave it a scathing review in 2015 on the David Letterman show. She told the talk show host, quote, "I've gone to it once and it was such a jerk parade. Clearly I'll never go again. But you go and it's this beautiful space and it's just every jerk from every walk of life is there wearing some stupid thing. You walk up these huge steps and I went and I dragged my husband along with me too, which I'm still in trouble for." There is no way she'd have been invited back by Anna since, knowing that she does not take too kindly to naysayers. Number 2, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. This celebrity duo has routinely made headlines lately for being so freaking weird. But although Megan Fox has been to the event before, neither her nor her musical fiance have made an appearance at the 2022 Met. Megan actually usually does really well for herself in the fashion department of the event, and considering how popular the couple has been, it was pretty surprising that neither her nor MGK showed. It's unknown whether they were invited or not, but if they weren't, I bet it may be because they're a very dramatic couple. Anna Wintour absolutely doesn't like the spotlight being taken away from fashion, so maybe she saw the couple as a threat to staying on topic. Although I bet they would have done something pretty cool and weird if they did attend. Every year I'm a bit disappointed by some celebrities for having very boring outfits despite such cool themes, and I doubt I would have been bored by whatever that quirky duo could conjure. Number 1, Anya Taylor-Joy. I was so disappointed that Anya Taylor-Joy didn't show up to the 2022 Met Gala. She really is a total powerhouse of an actor. Queen's Gambit was absolutely phenomenal. But because she's in such high demand, it could be very well likely that she was invited, but rather couldn't attend because she's currently working on 4 different movies all at the same time. She's set to work in the upcoming films Furiosa, Laughter in the Dark, Amsterdam, and Menu. So I bet she could just not spare the time to wear a cool outfit for one night. I really can't wait to see her more though if her schedule allows it.
And at number 10, Khloe Kardashian. The Met Gala is a place that is usually full of Kardashians. Kim, Kylie, and Kendall are always a mainstay, with Momager Chris also usually getting an invite. But fans have noticed over the years that Khloe and Kourtney have never attended the event, even though they could be considered more famous than some other celebrities that have made the cut. Insiders revealed that at first, Anna never wanted any of the Kardashians at the event. But over time, Kim, Kylie, and Kendall impressed Anna with their fashion, and she believed they were influential enough to be invited. Unfortunately, Khloe never made the cut, and insiders claim that Anna believed Khloe was, quote, too C-list to be invited to the event. After Khloe was once again not present at the 2021 Met, a rumor started that Khloe was actually banned from the event altogether. A fan tweeted at Khloe, quote, "Khloe, now that you are online, please tell us if the Met Gala rumors are true, because I'll burn that dinosaur's bones." Khloe then responded, quote, "Absolutely not true." She meant about the ban. Although if she was banned, I'm not sure she would exactly know about it. And at number 9, Donald Trump. One of the only people we can be sure will not be invited to the Met Gala is none other than former President Donald Trump. Although I should say he'll never be invited again because Trump has attended the Met Gala in the past. However, his political run changed that for him, and since he is hated by most of the Hollywood elites, it makes sense they would not want to party it up with him at the Met. This ban was confirmed when Anna Wintour, the legendary editor of Vogue that is in charge of the guest list, revealed it on The Late Late Show with James Corden. In 2017, during one of Corden's segments, Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts, Corden asked who Wintour would never again invite to the event, and she was quick to answer, Donald Trump. Since she was not shy to reveal it to the public, I'm sure she won't be going back on her word in the future. And at number 8, Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato had a terrible time at the 2018 Met Gala, and for that reason, even if they were invited again, I doubt they would actually go. During an interview with Billboard in 2019, Demi said how awful the Met Gala was, saying, quote, "I had a terrible experience. This one celebrity was a complete bitch and was miserable to be around. It was very cliquey. I remember being so uncomfortable that I wanted to drink." At this time, Demi was fighting to stay sober, so it was incredibly concerning that this event almost ruined all their progress. After the event, Demi revealed they went directly from the gala to an AA meeting, saying, quote, "I changed my clothes, but I still had my diamonds on. Millions of dollars of diamonds on in an AA meeting. And I related more to the homeless people in that meeting who struggled with the same struggles that I deal with than the people at the Met Gala." To make matters even worse, days after the gala, Demi got in a feud with Nicki Minaj when Minaj did not tag Demi in a group photo, clearly hinting that Nicki was the person who made it such a bad time for Demi. And at number 7, Amy Schumer. Another person who did not keep their negative feelings to themselves was comedian Amy Schumer. During an interview with Howard Stern in 2016, Schumer shared how awful the experience was, although she was of course grateful to be invited. During the interview she said, quote, "It's people doing an impression of having a conversation. I don't like the farce. We're dressed up like a bunch of effing a-holes. I don't like it. I have no interest in fashion. I don't care." She even claimed that the event felt like a punishment rather than a privilege. She continued, quote, "I left earlier than I should have been allowed. I got to meet Beyonce and she was like, 'Is this your first Met Gala?' And I was like, 'It's my last.'" And at number 6, Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn is a legendary fashion critic who made the mistake of criticizing the Met Gala, and after that he was of course never asked back. When Gunn was asked about going to the gala in 2016, he replied, quote, "It's very true, it's a crazy story, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a very matter-of-fact story. I was asked what's the most unforgettable thing I've ever seen in fashion, and I said, it's easy. It was watching Anna Wintour being carried down 5 flights of stairs by 2 bodyguards, 2 big hulking men, from a fashion show. All hell broke loose, it was insane. We've had an open war ever since." Since Gunn trashed the legendary Anna Wintour, his name has been blacklisted from every event since. And it's a clear snub since it's natural to assume he would be invited to the high fashion event. Halfway number 5, Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow is another celebrity who openly slammed the award show and paid the ultimate price. After Paltrow attended the Met in 2013, she told the Kylie and Jackie O show that, quote, "It sucked. Ouch." She continued that it seems like it would be the best thing in the world, adding, quote, "You always think, oh my god, it's going to be so glamorous and amazing, and you're gonna see all these people, and then you get there and it's so hot and it's so crowded, and everyone's pushing you. I think we're all a bit old to dress up punk." Apparently these comments did not go over well, and Paltrow and Wintour had a minor feud in the years that followed. But over time the pair were able to make up, and Paltrow was invited to the 2017 Met. In at number 4, Zayn Malik. In my opinion, it's not a shock to see Zayn Malik on this list, because he's been very open about his hatred for snooty events like this. However, he attended the Met once because of his supermodel ex-girlfriend Gigi Hadid. After attending once in 2016, he was over it and has not attended since. He told GQ in 2018 about skipping the event, quote, "I'd rather be sitting at my house doing something productive than dressing up in really expensive clothes and being photographed on a red carpet. To do the self-indulgent, 'look at me, I'm amazing' thing on the red carpet, it's not me." I'm sure Wintour did not like the harsh statement, along with the awkward headlines that came from Gigi Hadid walking the red carpet alone while they were dating. And at number 3, Tina Fey. Tina Fey does not care at all about events like the Met, and she's made that abundantly clear when she publicly trashed the prestigious event. Back in 2015, the comedian told David Letterman, quote, "I've gone to it once and it's such a jerk parade. Clearly I'll never go again. But you go and it's this beautiful space and it's just like every jerk from every walk of life is there wearing something stupid. You walk up these huge steps and I went in and dragged my husband along with me too, which I'm still in trouble for." From this statement, she clearly banned herself, and she's completely fine with never going back. Faye didn't stop there either, adding quote, "If you had a million arms, all the people you'd want to punch are there." And at number 2, Kim Kardashian. Of course, this ban did not last because Kim and the other members of the Kardashian family are a mainstay at the event these days. But back when Kim was just a measly reality TV star trying to become an A-list celebrity, Anna Wintour made it clear that she would never be invited. A source revealed back in 2012 that Anna was reportedly adamant about keeping the reality show star off her guest list, bluntly stating quote, "Anna hates Kim. Why would she be invited to the event? It's all the biggest stars in the world and Kim doesn't fit that bill at all," a source told Page 6. But of course, once Kim upped her style game and became a key figure in fashion, it was impossible not to have her attend. And finally at number 1, Coco Rocha. This is definitely the shadiest on this list, because Coco Rocha was banned after getting on the bad side of one of the event's co-chairs. Pretty much all of the time, Anna Wintour has sole control over the guest list and doesn't let outside voices have an effect on her decisions. But that changed in 2017 when she allegedly let one of her co-chairs ban someone. That year, Katy Perry helped host the event, but she never forgot the time supermodel Coco Rocha accused her of being a copycat, and she used her newfound power at the Met to make sure she got her payback. The drama started back in 2013 at the MTV VMAs, where Katy Perry wore the same Emmanuel Ungaro that Coco had donned at the year's Met Gala a few months before. Rocha then joked about the copying in an interview, and that was clearly enough to get her on Perry's very bad side. Let's get into the top 10 celebrities Anna Wintour will never invite to the Met Gala. In at number 10, Rachel Zoe. Rachel Zoe got on Anna Wintour's bad side when Zoe claimed that she was more influential to fashion than Anna Wintour. Clearly not the best thing to say if you want to be honored with an invite to the gala. There were rumors that Rachel was blacklisted from the Met invite list after she told the New York Times, quote, "Anna Wintour is one of my heroes, but they say that I'm more influential. As great as it is, Vogue won't change a designer's business. But if an unknown brand is worn by a certain person in a tabloid, it will be the biggest designer within a week." Back in 2007, Rachel was invited to the Met and was to be seated at Brian Atwood's table, but she was disinvited shortly after the invite. Many think it was due to these comments, but clearly the tension between them didn't last long as Rachel was invited back to the 2012 Met. In at number 9, Andre Leon Talley. Anna Wintour and the late fashion legend Andre Leon Talley had a very close bond for many years. They even worked together at Vogue. But it seemed that suddenly Talley was cut from Vogue and was no longer close with Wintour. We got the full story behind their feud in Talley's 2020 memoir, The Chiffon Trenches. According to parts of the book obtained by Page 6, he claimed he was fired from his position as Vogue's editor-at-large in 2018 because, quote, "I'd suddenly become too old, too overweight, too uncool." He also claimed that when he was fired, Wintour did not even have the decency to call him and speak to him beforehand. He also revealed that when he began to struggle with weight after the death of his grandmother, Wintour reportedly offered him a gym membership, then held an intervention years later. After this bitter feud started, Talley was not invited to the Met again. Thankfully, the pair reportedly made up shortly before his death. In at number 8, Donald Trump. One of the only people we can be sure will not be invited to the Met Gala is none other than former President Donald Trump. Although I should say he won't be invited back again because Trump has attended the Met Gala in the past. However, his political run changed that all for him, and since he's hated by most of the Hollywood elites, it makes sense they wouldn't want to see him at the Met. This ban was confirmed when Anna Wintour revealed it on The Late Late Show with James Corden. In 2017, during one of Corden's segments, Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts, Corden asked who Wintour would never invite back to the event, and she was quick to answer Donald Trump. Since she was not shy to reveal it to the public, clearly she's very confident of her decision. And at number 7, Melania Trump. Along with her hatred of Donald Trump, Anna Wintour also does not care for his wife and the former First Lady, Melania Trump. To make matters worse, Anna Wintour and Michelle Obama had a very close friendship and put Michelle on the cover of Vogue a number of times throughout her reign as First Lady. The feud started in 2019 when Wintour was asked about putting First Ladies on the cover of Vogue. Wintour commented that there is a tradition to put the First Lady on the cover when they first come into office. When speaking about putting Michelle on the cover 3 times, Wintour added, quote, "I don't think it's a moment not to take a stand. You have to stand up for what you believe in, and you have to take a point of view." During this talk about First Ladies, Wintour failed to mention Melania, who was the current First Lady at the time and had not been put on the cover of Vogue as First Lady. Melania's team shot back with a statement saying, quote, "To be on the cover of Vogue doesn't define Miss Trump. She's been there, done that, long before she was First Lady. Her role as First Lady of the United States and all that she does is much more important than some superficial photo shoot and cover. Also adding that this is furthering the divisive rhetoric and bias in fashion against Trump. And at number 6, Khloe Kardashian. So this prediction was proved wrong last night when Khloe was finally invited to the Met, but it was definitely clear for a few years that Anna did not want Khloe Kardashian at the event. The Met Gala is a place that is usually full of Kardashians. Kim, Kylie, and Kendall are always a mainstay, with momager Kris also usually getting an invite. But fans have noticed over the years that Khloe and Kourtney have never attended the event, even though they are famous enough to attend. Insiders revealed that at first, Anna never wanted any of the Kardashians at the event. But over time, Kim, Kylie, and Kendall impressed Anna with their fashion, and she believed they were influential enough to be invited. Unfortunately, Khloe never made the cut, and insiders claim that Anna believed Khloe was quote, too C-list to be invited to the event. Another rumor swirled that Kourtney had been invited, but didn't go because she didn't want Khloe to be left out. Thankfully, all the members of the Kardashian family were present at the 2022 Met. Halfway number 5, Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn is a legendary fashion critic who made the mistake of criticizing Anna Wintour, which caused him to be blacklisted from the Met. The pair's feud began in 2010 after Gunn wrote in his book, Gunn's Golden Rules, a story of Anna being carried down some stairs, writing in the book, quote, "Knowing she famously disliked riding in elevators with other people, I thought, how will she ever get down? Hurrying over to the elevators, he looked over to the stairway railing to find that her 2 bodyguards were having a fireman's lock and were racing her up from landing to landing, with her sitting in their crossed arms. Wintour was even carried all the way to her car. Apparently after he published that story, all hell broke loose and their relationship was strained, and it reportedly demanded a retraction, which he did not agree to. After trashing Anna and the magazine in general, Gunn has not been invited back to fashion's biggest day. In at number 4, Azzedine Alaïa. Anna Wintour is considered a fashion icon to many people in the industry, other than Azzedine Alaïa. The pair's feud began in 2009 when Alaïa's work wasn't included in the Costume Institute's exhibit, The Model as Muse. This snub caused many of the designer's good friends like Naomi Campbell to skip the Met in protest. When asked about the snub, the designer stated that Wintour, quote, "behaves like a dictator, but I'm not scared of her anymore." Things got much shadier a few years later when Alaïa came after Wintour's personal style, saying, quote, "Wintour runs the business very well, but not the fashion part. When I see how she is dressed, I don't believe in her taste for 1 second. The final dig happened when Alaïa concluded, quote, "Anyway, who will remember Anna Wintour in the history of fashion? No one." Clearly after those harsh words, Anna will do everything in her power to keep him away from the Met. In at number 3, Tom Brady. This one's probably harmless, but who knows what lengths Anna will go to avoid an awkward confrontation. Back in 2014, Anna Wintour visited Late Night with Seth Meyers to dish about the Met Gala that year. Meyers asked her about some of her favorite looks from that year, and she gushed over the celebrities that she believed looked the best. When Tom Brady's fashion choice came up, Anna was more than underwhelmed. Brady decided to wear a black tie to the white tie event, a big no-no. When asked about his look, Anna said, quote, "Well, he has Giselle, so that helps." Ouch. Clearly if it was up to Anna, he would not be invited back, but because he's married to Giselle, she receives a +1 for him. In at number 2, Kamala Harris. Vice President Kamala Harris and Anna Wintour got into a tense feud over Harris's Vogue cover photo. Harris was honored to be featured in Vogue and took some photos that were very casual and others that were more vice presidential. Harris assumed that a serious one of her in a blue suit would be chosen for the cover photo. However, the political community was shocked when the cover photo showed a casual Kamala laughing and wearing a casual suit with sneakers. Harris reportedly felt belittled by the photo and complained to Anna to change it. Wintour chose the photo because she loved how relatable it made Harris seem, but it seemed to belittle the position that Harris was in. Harris's favorite photo of her in the suit was used as a limited edition alternative. Some of the vice president's allies slammed Vogue's choice of the cover photo, saying it failed to give Harris the respect that she deserved. Others also said the lighting and background of the photo were very unflattering. Anna doesn't like to be challenged, so we can assume she thinks lesser of Harris now. And finally, number 1, Amber Heard. This one is pretty obvious, but there's no chance that Amber Heard will be invited to the Met Gala again. I say again because Heard has gone many times in the past, even once with her ex, Johnny Depp. Even though Amber always looks beautiful at the event, in light of all the negative media coverage surrounding her, the Met will not want to be associated with her whatsoever, even if she happens to be found innocent after the trial.